up-to-date stuff, what's going on, and seems to have a passion for it.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone.
I would definitely recommend Brian because he's done well for us.
Call Brian Gawley of Smart Investing Solutions, 306-546-2533.
B&A Petroleum is a Southern Saskatchewan family-owned business that's there for you. They've been supporting their clients for over 30 years with locations in several communities throughout the southern part of the province. B&A Petroleum is available for all your bulk fuel and lubricant needs with propane at selected locations Monday to Friday. And don't forget, their Cardlock location is accessible 24 hours for your convenience. B&A Petroleum. Fuel you once, fuel you forever.
When you have a big job on the go, always head to Prairieland Rental for everything from skid steers to excavators to jackhammers. You'll get everything done with equipment just from Prairieland. You won't need to go anywhere else. And at Prairieland, you deal directly with the owner. They're very local and very Sask. They appreciate your local business and they've got everything you need for your projects. They'll even deliver. Prairieland Rental, 600 Albert Street. PrairielandRental.com.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by the Saskatchewan Roughriders Foundation 50/50. Visit www.riders5050.ca to purchase your tickets for this week's game. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Well, here we are. We're back. It's the all-new Sportscage. Well, I'm back anyway. Barney Schinkerick with you for the next 3 hours. How the heck have you been out there in Saskatchewan, radio land, streaming land, all that kind of stuff? It's somewhat exciting to be back. Don Hewitt, unbelievable job filling in. Maz, unbelievable job. Dave Thomas. Some things are out of place here, so I'm just trying to get settled. It's like if you ever rent your place out in a VRBO or anything, it's like, hey, that's not there. That wasn't there before. Am I missing something? I think I had this there. Somebody might have snafu'd it. But we got 3 hours for you and a lot of fun. Farhan Lalji from TSN. He's going to join us quickly here in the first half hour of the program. A lot to talk to Farhan CFL-wise, NFL-wise. Scott Schultz, former Saskatchewan Roughrider, going to get his take on things as the Riders are on a mini winning streak here going into Edmonton. See what Schultz has to say. Hour 2 is the Fries-Tallman Indigenous Spotlight. We're going to talk to the newest Regina Pat, Connor Bear from the Ochapowace First Nations. We also have Benny Walchuk in hour 2, the SJHL report, our first SJHL report of the year for our friends at Southie Mainline Motors. Hour 3 is Darian Durant and rider audio from practice today. Darren Anderson's with me, riding shotgun for the next 3 hours. We've got Colson and Curtis on the prod side, getting everything buttoned up. DA, okay, so rider game on the weekend, it was awesome. Because usually I watch it with Dave and Luke.
Yep.
This time I had no access to television, so it was a straight listen. It was like just you take yourself back, right? Like you're kind of painting the picture. Okay, that looks like a guy, but not watching the game. I feel like I missed a number of things because they paint the picture, but I'm like, exactly how did that happen? I have so many questions on what. Starting with. He's out again today, not at practice. Raquel Armstead. When you watch that game, how does that play take place where he gets injured? Like it didn't sound, and I'm like trying to figure it out. Everyone's been hit in different sports, and I'm like, is it his shoulder? Is it his arm? Is it his?
Yeah, it was an odd play. Even watching on TV, I actually rewound it and said, like, what did happen? It's an end around by Emelis, and he went out to block. And I don't know if he just wasn't ready or the linebacker decided, hey, it's time for me to take a shot on Armstead and just planted him. And so I thought he was winded. Like, watching it on TV, he kind of went off and was crouched down behind the rider bench and trying to get his breath. But obviously comes out in the sling for the end of the game. And so I don't know if that's a collarbone, a rib out of place, what it was, but not a good sign.
That's what I couldn't figure out because I'm trying to go through. Is that a shoulder? Does he have shoulder issues? Does that thing easily get popped in and out of place? You see that a lot of times.
Yeah.
A sling, like why they be supporting that? Is that some sort of separation? So, but then, and I want to talk to Schultz about this, Durant. Exactly how the Rider season's been going. It's like, all right, Thomas the Train, get in there and do your thing. And it's like, here we go again, just another body coming in and doing the job.
Well, by that point in the game, no line, like the offense was on the whole game, especially in the second half, and they were just mowing down guys.
Yeah,
like the whole, all of a sudden, not to any against his play, but it was a different feel that our offensive line was taking over the game. And I don't know if they felt that. You know how it happens. You get your number one guy hurt, and so the other guys in the huddle are going, listen, we need to get the new guy some quality touches here, but he took full advantage of it.
Yeah, TBH, Thomas the Train, Thomas Brown Hudon, he's 9 carries, 72 yards, 1 touchdown. Obviously now Edmonton will be preparing for that. Or do you prepare for Hickson? Or do you prepare for who knows at this point? It's just, I love it. And how Harris spread the ball around with guys catching. And Duncan Busby now. It's like, okay, here's the, for lack of a better term, treat of the week. Here's a guy that you never heard of. He's in the game. And then what did he finish with? He finished with 7 for 92. Like, awesome.
Well, right, and I sort of texted you today. The big thing I came away with after this week is with 3 weeks left in the season, and what's our identity? Like, I'm trying to figure out what are the Riders, what makes them tick, what's driving the engine right now. Hard to tell for me as a fan, anyways, and sort of heading into the playoff season here, and hopefully we'll punch our ticket here this weekend. But what are we? And to your point, then, how do you game plan? How does Edmonton sit back and go, what are the Riders right now? What are they? Yeah. Are they going to throw the ball down the field? Are they going to spread it out? Are they going to run the ball? What are they going to do this week? And who's going to play? And how do you game plan for that? So definitely difficult on the other side of the ball to try and figure out what these Rough Riders on offense are. Because I think our defense is pretty solid. And again, another great showing by the defense. Really made Ottawa look pedestrian at best, but we're still searching for that identity on offense, and it's not helping with the revolving door of players.
And I'm listening to the game, and I'm like, man, they're marching. Man, they're on the field. Man, they're just picking them apart. Dink and dunk, run, this and that, and then Lawther, another field goal. And it's like, okay, here they go again. Okay, now they're going to score on this. The dink, dunk, no, they get down. Lawther, another field goal, which is good because we're coming up with points. Like he's 7 for 7. Awesome job. And let's remember, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago when the pitchforks were out and he's like, this guy can't kick, get him out. Da, da, da. And now he's just absolutely mojo central, right in the zone, knocking everything through. So at least we're coming up with points. We're leading. And then I'm like, but they're not that far behind, especially in the CFL. But yeah, so the way I looked at that game and I see it, it's like good teams win those games. Sketchy teams or teams that aren't good, they'll find a way to lose those games.
Oh, 100%. So number one, 2 wins in a row, full kudos to the team. Number one, that's all you need to do. Is there still question? Like, I watched that game and sort of said the way Ottawa played and the way our defense played. When I got to the end of the first half and we have 2 turnovers and a 74-yard return off a missed field goal, and we're up 9-3. That's where you get on. It's why didn't we punch 2 of those in? Why aren't we feeling comfortable at halftime in this game? Why do we allow Ottawa to come down and make it a 1-score game in the fourth quarter? But like you said, full kudos to the team for eking out the win. No questions at the kicking game right now, obviously, which is something you just put in your back pocket for the playoffs, and you go, he's on a heater right now.
Absolutely.
Going at the right time. But I think you question and go like, we don't want Lawther kicking field goals, though. We want him kicking extra points.
No.
And so it's getting there.
Good video there Curtis has got up if you're watching the stream at sportscage.com or on X. And it was a nice day here too, right? The weather, we're at that point now where you wake up in the morning, like, was it yesterday? And I was like, oh, do I do the furnace switch thing? Do I flip that switch? Am I giving in this early? And the wife and kids are like, or wife and daughter, boy, doesn't matter. They're like, yeah, a little cold. I'm okay, let's start with taking the fans off. Let's shut the fans down maybe for the summer in the house. I don't want to hit that switch. But if there's people out there listening that if you've, maybe they're high school coaches or you coach even flag football or you coach whatever kind of football, and you sit and you watch what the Riders are doing, and it doesn't matter what level of football you're at. If you're playing against a team that you have no idea who are they throwing to, who's the stud, who are they handing it off to? Like, we don't know. Like, that is so hard to game plan against. Right? We've coached together and played together, and it's like, you know what? Yeah, just keep throwing to him because they're not.
Well, right. Back in our day, you'd be yelling from the sideline, they're going to throw it to 30.
Yeah.
Like, who are they calling out? So on a big play, the Riders need, who's the defensive coordinator? Who the leader on their defense is? Who's he pointing to and going, this is the guy they're going to try and get the ball? We don't have that guy, good and bad. We don't have that guy. Now.
Yeah. Like, it's funny because coaching the kids and helping coach the kids' school team here. And I said, listen, it's just aerial football. It's 7-on-7. It's so fun, though. And I said, okay, they're probably going to have two studs, right? And when they need that 10 yards, when they need whatever yards, if we had Don's analytics guy that Don Hewitt has on, like the data guy, if you broke down the data, you would say, okay, 90% of the plays are going to go to these two kids. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to play man on them and then a zone around it. And you're almost sacrificing something over there because
right.
Where it comes to the Riders, it's right now, and I love that. It's like, yeah, you can't.
Well, and even, and I don't know about Bain's injury. I haven't heard the extent of it. But you take a piece like that, again, it's another question mark coming in. Because so to your point, maybe we look at Bain a little bit more on those second longs in crucial situations, but now he's gone. Keyshawn Johnson has been a great find. He's been a stud. Is he the guy that we're looking at now? Because he seems to be making big plays at ends of games. So who is that next up? Like, I agree. It's a big question mark for Edmonton, and they got to be practicing this week for all options. And that's the one, like, Trevor Harris is great at spreading the ball around.
Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. I tell you what, when you're gone for about a week, you are craving Western Pizza when you get back to this city. Generous amount of toppings, all the Greek food you love. Visit your Western Pizza tonight. Scott Schultz, like I said, I teed it up. He's joining us right now. If you're watching the stream, there you see the big fella right there. Scott, if you're listening, you're hearing us, right? You've coached kids. You've been around kids football. Doesn't matter what level of football. If you can't key on one or two players or studs or whatever you want to call them, man, you're in a tough spot now. It's like, I don't know, is Ratkovich going to go in and all of a sudden run for 150? No one knows anything, right?
Right. It presents a pretty difficult problem. And I know we used to like taking things in bite-sized chunks. And what we would do is, you'd have to, like you said, key on a stud. For instance, you're going up against Calgary in the old days with, Hank and Joffrey Reynolds and the whole crew. You got to shut down the run if you're going to get a win on Hank and make him beat you with the pass. But if they can, free will and do whatever they want, it's going to be a long afternoon. And that's kind of the prescription that defenses, try to adhere to.
How would you guys going back to that, and I'm trying to think, maybe if the Riders play a Vernon Adams here, I guess, if somehow Trey Ford goes in, how would you guys game plan against that? Against, Reynolds, it's like, okay, we got to key on him, but Burris could also wheel and deal with his legs as well. Like that, it was kind of a double sword, and then you throw in the pass factor. Like, how would you game plan against that, Schultz?
So the biggest thing what you would do is, okay, so first things first, first down, biggest probability they're going to start running the ball, right? So then you're breaking down, the personnel groupings and basically formulating the defenses that we can do to stop that run. And then it just comes down to a man. To a man, you got to get in your gap, get upfield, make sure we're shuffling our feet and not falling for the old banana in the tailpipe stuff when they're pulling guards or doing traps. You got to be alert. And if you can stop, a running back like that, now you've got action. Now you're forcing them to go to their pass. Now the back end's got to kick in, right? So then, it starts to become a little more one-dimensional. If you allow them to, now they're gashing you on the run and then they're getting you on the pass. I mean, it's chaos. So you've got to be able to shut down one and then transition to the next.
I was talking to DA, I think before you came on the stream here, but I was saying, you know what? It maybe wasn't pretty, and that's what a lot of people were talking, and I was watching in social media after listening to the game, and then on the way back from Tuscaloosa, we were listening to some of the post-game show, and I was like, yeah, okay, it wasn't pretty, I get it, but you've been around this, Scott. It's like good teams will win those games. Bad teams will find a way to lose that game.
You know what's pretty? I'll tell you. When you're desperate, right, and you need a win, and you got to get back on track, you know what's sexy as F? 7 field goals. Perfect. El perfecto. I would be shining up old Lowther. I mean, to hit 7 for 7, if that's what needs to work, it's gorgeous. And what do we have now? We're 7-7 with 1 second in the division. When we talked last week, what did we talk about? I said, I'm not about all the pomp and circumstance. I'm about focusing on what's in front of us. What are the things that we can control? How do we take a step forward? And it looks like the boys are doing it.
So, sorry, DA here, Scott. In that vein, when you were on the team and obviously a leader on the team, and you're in this situation, you're 7-1. There's 3 games left, and it's a rock fight. The CFL is a rock fight this year. What would you be, is what you just said, is that what you're hammering home? It doesn't matter how we win this, guys, but we need to make those plays to get this done.
It's next man up. It's not feeling sorry for yourself. It's looking at yourself in the mirror and understanding that if I can complete my task, my job, my responsibility to the letter of the law, like I should be as a professional, and that trickles down all the other 12 positions when we're out there as a group and a unit, that's how you take those steps forward. That's how you get back on track. And like I said, in the West, the parity is crazy. You see how crazy it is over in the West. All you've got to do is get back on track, get that win. It doesn't matter about the noise and what's going on in the East and all the sexy wins out East. What we're doing here is it is a rock fight. It is a dog fight, and we're trudging forward. I was just joking on the weekend with Jeremy and I coach with Andrew Green. I said, how many times, I think it was 3 seasons, we went 9-9. We had to win out 4 or 5 games just to make it to the playoffs, and then somehow find ourselves in the Western Final 2 times.
Yeah.
So it can be done. I mean, the track record's there, and to me, that's the sexy stuff. That's the little stuff. 7 field goals is sexy. Trust me, Rider Nation. Trust me.
Banana and tailpipe style. Okay, so it's funny, DA, because I was thinking back actually too, as 2 Patriot fans. Like there was that one year, I think it was the year that Gronk. So that's the year they beat Seattle. Like it wasn't pretty, and they like shaded the Jets like 9-3 or some team late in the season. And then they just went on a heater in the playoffs. It doesn't. Hey, you won the game, and then now it's next week. And sometimes things don't go your way. And then now, Schultze, too, the other thing, and it doesn't look like that in Edmonton the last I looked, because it looks like it's going to be a decent day weather-wise. But in the CFL, you have to start thinking, in this 5-day span, we could get anything weather-wise. And then now, what team travels? What team travels and what team can travel in the weather?
Hey, it doesn't matter. We are a band of marauding psychopaths looking for our next win. That is what they got to do. They don't care. Wind, not concerned. Sleet, big deal. I mean, no matter what happens, we got to move it on down the road and execute at our highest level ability. And I think that's what they're doing. I mean, you see the connection that Corey Mace has with that team. I heard the stories on how things have unfolded in the locker room and how the leaders have stepped up and taken the mantles to carry the guys forward. I mean, you're looking at, we've got injuries, we got all this. It doesn't matter. We need to figure out how to stay in the playoff hunt where we are in second place right today.
Nice. Great point. And obviously you're a big in the trench guy. I was curious, more defensive linemen now on rosters than when you played. Less Canadians, I'll say. So what are your feelings there? Like, to your point, like you were on the field for 90% of plays, by my recollection. What is it like when you're shifting in and out? What do you do you think as it gets colder here, you're going to be going to your A team more? Those guys are going to be on the field more?
Yeah. This is glorious. When this weather hits, man, you go to Hamilton, end of July, I mean, and you're sucking air through your butt. I mean, you can't even think out there. It's so hot. 25 plays. I mean, it's trouble. You get out there in this kind of weather, I'm telling you, I could roll 45 to 65 plays, not even thinking about it, not even busting a sweat. I love this fat guy weather 100%. And that's what you need. You need the fat guys to perform right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. On both sides for sure. Okay. So then again, I wasn't watching the game. So then everyone was like making this big brawl, and what happened in the brawl out to that. Going back to your days, what like real massive dust up comes to mind when you think that, hey, I know that did get a little heated.
There's a great one against BC when I got a guy ripped. I ended up falling in the quarterback. They thought it was questionable. It was just momentum and fat guy, falling forward. Got my helmet ripped off. Ended up having a broken nose, knocked my tooth out. Big fight, John Chick in there fighting. Big Slob Murphy. I remember holding him down, and I can remember Tillman on the sideline screaming at the refs because Rob Murphy's holding down John Chick on the ground, and John's just got his hands up like, "What are you doing?" And Tillman's yelling, "He's got diabetes! He's got diabetes!" As if that's going to change things. And so years later, great Wisers came to the table and they did this promotion where they put us on these whiskey glasses. And the picture they put on for me was me looking off to the field with my tooth knocked out, but they photoshopped the blood out. So I have the bloody picture up in my house, and I do have the mug with me on it, censored for public. I'm a censorable kind of guy.
Oh, what a classic story! I've been back.
Awesome.
I've been back for 15 minutes and I'm already busted. My guts busted. All right. Okay. What do you predict?
He's got diabetes. What's this?
What a line! What a line! What do you think this weekend then? Like what in Edmonton? Anything about Edmonton scare you? I guess anything in the West can happen as we're talking about this year. But what are you thinking?
It's just trap, the whole trap game, the whole let's not take these guys too serious because they've had some struggles. Hey, look in the mirror, guys. We've had some struggles. We've done the things to correct it and get into second place. So as long as they're not being front runners, as long as they're not reading the three's the streak, let's just get the win. Let's just go get the win. And I think they can do it. They got the team to do it. They've got the mindset to do it. And I'm looking for a big win this weekend.
Schultze, this is awesome. Thanks so much. I know you took
not
some time
a problem,
out here.
gents. Anytime, I would be happy to come on. And if anyone out there is listening, please don't be afraid to check out LakeviewInsurance.com. for Scott Schultz and all your insurance needs.
There you go. If you need insurance, and then
I stole a plug. I'm sorry, guys.
No, that's fine, and they can hear stories like that. For every package sold, he'll tell a good story from back in the day.
Good old yarn.
Schultz, you have a good one. Thanks so much, Rider Legend.
I appreciate it, fellas. We'll talk to you soon.
Joining us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. That's fantastic. Along with the trick, the banana in the tailpipe, how he starts the conversation. That guy has got some great stories. But he's true, right? Now, like where that weather's at, for the bigger guys, like walking outside is easier. Everything is easier. You're not worrying about cramping up and worrying about all that. So, and then, Edmonton this week, last I looked, it was like, I think it was about 15 degrees on Saturday. So, nice.
Yeah, that's perfect football weather. Really. Like you said, you're not sucking in wind in plus 30, plus 35 temps. 15's perfect, especially for both sides of the line.
I didn't check the wind. Okay, the wind's only 21 kilometers. Yeah, so not a bad fall day there in Edmonton. Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50/50 is who's bringing you to the program today. You can get your tickets at riders5050.ca. This week's early bird prize, if you're going to get in on things before tomorrow, Thursday at 5 p.m., you're also in for the early bird prize, which is an Oilers road trip. Includes one night accommodation. It doesn't say where. Hopefully it's at the Fantasyland Hotel, like the Caveman Room or whatever it is. A set of tickets to an Oilers game, obviously. Lower level tickets, keep in mind. Or you can take $1,800 cash. Go to riders5050.ca, buy your tickets, ready for the 50/50, and then you're also in for the early bird if you buy them before Thursday at 3 p.m. Time to take a break. Still to come on the show, we got some Rider audio from practice today, as well as Farhan Lalji is going to join us. This is Saskatchewan's voice for local sports. The all-new Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Sherwood Co-op Liquor Stores. Now open in Harbor Landing and Rochdale Boulevard.
The Country Music Rewind with Colin Lovequist.
On this week's show, we're going to take you back to the year 1995. Charlie Major was hot stuff. Terry Clark was releasing some monster hits. And there were some newcomers as well making their way onto the charts. We'll get to that and more on Country Music Rewind.
The Country Music Rewind with Colin Lovequist. Brought to you by Crawford's No Frills. Saturday afternoons at 4 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on Country's Greatest Hits, 620 CKRM.
What type of vehicle should you use for a fall hayride?
I bet you're going to be punny.
An automobile?
Ugh. Whatever type of vehicle you drive, fuel up at Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
As a member, fueling up means
sharing in the equity.
Buy a car wash or some snacks from the C-store.
It's like putting money in the bank.
You better believe it.
Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saturday is game day as the Riders take on the Edmonton Elks. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Dunkas at 2 p.m. Pre-game shows at 4 and kickoff with Luke Bullender and Ayers at 5. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Roughrider Radio Network is brought to you by
Western Ag Professional Agronomy, Sask Lotteries, and your Saskatchewan Agco dealers. Stream every minute of Rider football at sportscage.com. Riley Green, live.
Doing things a little different, right?
The Damn Country Music Tour.
Damn country music.
March 30th, Brant Center.
Damn country music.
With Ella Langley.
You look like you.
Jake Worthington and Eric Dillon. On sale now at livenation.com.
Now it's grandpa's never died.
Don't miss Riley Green.
Hi, this is Shannon Forrester with Floor Coverings International. We pride ourselves on making our customers' flooring experience seamless. From the in-home consultation, to installation, to our final walkthrough, we ensure that you are completely satisfied. Your home is your sanctuary, and it's probably your biggest investment. When you need new floors, you want to make sure you're working with a team you can trust. But don't take our word for it. Listen to this Google review from Cassandra.
What a great experience having this company redo our flooring. The sales reps were fantastic, super friendly, punctual, and educated. The installers were so fast and did incredible work. Their attention to detail throughout the project was impeccable. They were friendly, on time, and always in communication during the whole process. We'll definitely be recommending Floor Covering International to friends and family.
Check out our Google reviews and see why we are the 5 stars of flooring. Don't let our name fool you. We are locally owned and operated. Visit floorcoveringsinternational.com today.
With over 380 conveniently located card lock locations, Co-op offers the largest card lock network in Western Canada. Count on us to keep you fueled 24/7, right from Vancouver Island, British Columbia, through to Thunder Bay, Ontario, and all points in between.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. Get social with us. Follow us on X @SportsCage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
People are texting in. Thanks. Nice to see you back. Hey, Don Hewitt yesterday, and I was listening, and then Maz and Dave, they had this place buttoned up. Although, like I said, the chair was a little bit weird, some things down here, but those guys did a fantastic job. It's Barney Shinkaruk, Darren Anderson, Colson, and Curtis here with you on the all-new Sports Cage. Are we giving away tickets? Yes, we are. We do have SaskTel pick the score, 936-6262. Capital Ford Lincoln text line, Saskatchewan's #1 Ford retailer, capitalfordlincoln.com. What is the score in Edmonton Saturday afternoon? I'm really racking my brain here because hey, Colson, you're going to like this story. I was on an absolute heater this weekend on college football games. When it went to the NFL and the CFL, not so much. And I'm not a baseball guy. Like, I love postseason baseball. So tonight, that San Diego late sprinkle, but I have no idea. I'm going to be texting Chad Bobrick or like my buddies that are big baseball guys, and I'm like, what's the deal with these two pitchers? Because I have no idea. But what is the score on Saturday? So the over-under for the Riders-Elks game, guess the over-under score. What do you think the over-under set at?
38.
No,
it's going to be low.
It's at 50.5. So
what?
You better take the under. You better take the under.
I think this is going to be a rock fight. Oh, I think it's going to be low scoring.
Yeah, and then the Riders are a 2-point favorite going in to the game. Get this one. We haven't seen a lot of 7.5-point favorites, but BC is a 7.5-point favorite at home against Calgary. The same BC Lions team that just lost to the resurgence of Bo Levi Mitchell, which
they're
I had to
enigma.
look.
I don't get BC Lions. They're unknown to me.
I had to look at my phone 3 times when I saw that, and I'm like, Hamilton over BC, and I'm like, what year is this from? Is this Danny McManus era? Like, how many field goals did Lou Pasaglia have? What am I reading here? And I was like, no, they did it. Like, that helps the Riders. Like, Rider fans, send some, I don't know, what's Sasky, Last Mountain Distillery, Great Western Brewing, all that stuff out to your friends in Hamilton. It's massive solid, but Hamilton and Winnipeg in the Hammer. Winnipeg's a 4-point favorite on that one. Just 3 games in the CFL. Yeah, so pick the score. If you're thinking like DA, go low in Edmonton. It is for our friends at SaskTel. We will award 2 tickets today. Colson will do the Wheel of Winning, and tickets for the Thanksgiving game here against the against the BC Lions. That's going to be, I
think it's like 18-15 Riders.
It's 15 degrees, 21K wins.
I just think our defense is going to be dialed, and I think theirs is going to be dialed too. We have lots of changes on the O. Lots.
Okay. Let's see what these scores start coming in if people are buying your stock, your low stock. Coach Mace at practice today caught up with our Dave Thomas. He talked about the CJ Rivas situation.
Coach Mace, great sign today. CJ Rivas was back taking first-team reps with the defense. Is it looking like he'll be back and ready to go come Saturday in Edmonton?
Yeah, I think just over these, today and tomorrow, just seeing how he looks out there physically. Obviously he's not too far removed from the playbook. Only he just missed the one game. So more just, how he looks and then how he feels physically. And then we'll make a decision from there.
I would assume you'll look to him, as well as others, of course, to stop a running game that kind of beat you up the last time you played them. 276 yards surrendered in that game on the ground. How much do you look back or dwell on that game against the Elks the last time they were here at Mosaic Stadium?
Yeah, no, I think, say what you want. I mean, I get it. I understand what the record says. They're a dangerous team, man. We found that out firsthand. They've got, a big offensive line. They got 3 backs who are more than capable, all explosive, and their receiving core is really good as well. Obviously, they've had 2 guys back there at the quarterback position who've had success in this league. So, defensively, we look at it as a challenge. But yeah, we got to watch the tape. That wasn't obviously one of our bright spots in the run game. And they've been consistently doing it to every team that they play. So certainly, we got to anticipate that we'll probably get a good dose of the run game. But we got to make sure that we're gap sound, that gives us the best opportunity to succeed with that. But, they have the ability to air it out as well. So just play it honest and it should put us in favor.
So were there more mental or physical breakdowns, or was it a combination of both?
I think a little bit of everything. They do a good job scheming up their run game. Probably a couple bad calls by me, to be honest. And then, we just mentally busted, misfit some gaps. And these backs, they're really good. They're patient runners. And if you give them a crease, they're going to find it. And then they get to the second level, that's when you're in trouble. So it was a little bit of everything. Definitely a learning moment for us. And a challenge that these guys, I think that they're ready to get another shot at them, from that aspect. But it always comes down to playing the call and executing at a high level.
Finally, Coach, the trade deadline will arrive later this afternoon. Do you anticipate being active at all?
I don't think so, but you never know. I was just hearing some rumblings, I guess, going on around the league elsewhere. But, that's probably more of a question for J.O. But, we haven't really talked about anything from that standpoint.
Dave Thomas, head coach of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Trade? Yeah, I forgot about trade deadline. What team would unload what now, though, at this point?
Yeah, obviously, a lot of injuries this year, so a lot of teams that would maybe want someone. I don't know any team in this congested league that's going to give up anyone. I don't know. Unless Calgary's decided to pull the pin, but I don't know what kind of assets they'd have for trading. So,
yeah, I just, like you said, I don't think anyone, and they're doing the favors for other people. I guess if you get capital back, you do a favor. Like the Leafs would trade with the Habs if they, get the right capital back. Okay, as far as our SaskTel pick the score, so far people are going way over your. What did you say?
18-15.
Curtis, what did you say?
I was saying it's going to be 32-30 for the Rough Riders.
Okay, write that down for Monday.
Okay.
32-30. Colson, do you got to pick the score? What are you thinking? You guys got to write these down over there.
Yeah, I've got my notebook.
A notebook?
Yeah, I've got a notebook.
I love it.
My score. Let's do 46-3. Absolute blowout.
Oh.
4?
The Riders.
46-3.
He punted.
If that comes in,
as soon as Barney said write it down, he's like, I'm going to pick something ridiculous. I don't want to be held accountable.
No. We're pick the score. I'm just playing the odds that if it's a blowout game, I'm betting that everybody else isn't picking that, right? It's always
for sure.
Yeah. He's playing chess and we're playing checkers.
We've been saying this is a trap game, right? On a trap game, you always want to be the one person that picks the other team because then you win the pick the score $200 SaskTel gift card. Right?
Hey. Yeah. No. I get where you're going at. But then if the score is not even close to that, you're hooped.
Yeah, well, if the team you want to win wins anyways, you're not upset.
Sometimes 7-2 will win you a nice big pot, but usually
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you going with, Shink?
I'll go 33 Riders, 17.
Nice.
Can I get bonus points? I'll say there'll be a rouge. Just kidding.
Hey, well, I was just going to say this. Will there be a defensive touchdown? Either team.
I always bet that. On the props.
I have a feeling like that's what'll blow my score out of the water. Will be defensive touchdowns.
I always sprinkle like a quarter of a unit on there's a defensive touchdown, special teams touchdown. I told the story about when we ran the one back against Edmonton, the game and we were up at the lake and Roman was screaming because he knew when I was in the shower. He's like, they just ran it back. Are there any flags? No. And I'm like, yes. Defensive touchdowns though. It's the way the defense is buzzing.
They're fun to watch. They're a lot of fun to watch for me.
It's time to take a quick break here. When we come back, will be Farhan Lalji time here. You're listening to the all-new Sports Cage, watching the all-new Sports Cage on the stream, sportscage.com, and as always on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
You know what they say about trust? Trust goes both ways. And hey, that doesn't just go for people. It goes for you and your vehicle too. If your vehicle seems to be telling you something's wrong, you have to trust that instinct. Visit your local Integra Tire dealer for all of your car's mechanical service needs and get up to a $100 rebate on a set of 4 tires on select brands. You want tires you can trust from a dealer you can trust. Trust your locally owned Integra Tire dealers. Cars Holdings Assiniboia and Schlamps Tire Grenfell. Truly local.
Universe Satellite Sales in Rocanville would like to invite you to their Kawasaki Demo Day this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Stop in and take the all-new Kawasaki Ridge HVAC for a test drive. They have a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides in stock. Just think, this winter, driving out to the ice shack in a heated cab or just cruising with the air conditioning on while heading to your favorite hunting spot. Call Universe Satellite Sales at 306-645-2669 and get ready to save thousands of dollars on your next Kawasaki. Kawasaki, let the good times roll.
Well, howdy! Wood Country Woody here. Now, you already know Vic West Metal Cladding's the very best cladding for your outbuildings, but did you know Vic West also makes for superior roofs and fences? Yes, sir. Durable hardware and comes in abundance of great colors and really just takes the whole darn cake. If it needs metal cladding, make it Vic West from Wood Country in McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale.
Your home is your castle.
Shop online, wood-country.com.
Whether Smokey's after you or not, when you're on the road in your big rig, you're in a hurry to get to where you're going, and you need a part shop you can trust. Wolf Industries is the premium choice. They're your family-run truck mechanic shop with a full line of parts for big semis, with certified AC technicians for the hot summer. Stop in at their Grenfell location for all the parts and repairs you need. They're SGI accredited for safety inspections and have 24-hour emergency call-out. Wolf Industries, the best for your truck. 10-4.
The all-new Sports Cage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back, all-new Sports Cage. I got to mention this before we get... I'm going to mention this every hour. Hi at sportscage.com. Need to know your Friday night lights game for this weekend. Starts on Thursday, usually a lot of the games. Just going through it now. It's been a while. Stay in style, like I said. We get a lot of love from a number of teams, but we need more to jump in here. Okay, so down in the SWAC there, maybe the Assiniboia area. Ituna, shout out. Ituna sent us a hat. Is it still up? Yeah, it's still there. Hi at sportscage.com. What high school football games should we be showcasing this Friday? And that's for Regina Motor Products. $20 off your tire changeover this season. Western Pizza, guest hotline. Once again, here we go again. Perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings, always at Western Pizza. He's joining us on the phone today. He's a busy guy. He just had his CFL production meeting. It is Farhan Lalji. Farhan, let's start with looking ahead to this weekend. And there's only 3 games in the CFL. How do things shake down? Do you see it, starting with the Riders and Elks?
Yeah, I think this was a game, Shink, that I really thought that Edmonton would go back to Trey Ford. And I'm surprised that after 2 straight losses that they don't make the turn and go back to him, just because I think organizationally they want him to be the quarterback of the future. So I get that there's kind of a bit of a desperation right now for everybody that's on the outside looking in that still believes they've got a chance to get in, to find a way to do this. And I believe they think that McLeod Bethel Thompson gives them the best chance. But after the last couple of games, I just think this is the time to turn back. And because they're not, quite frankly, I really like the Riders' chances in this one. And I know that Armstead's kind of up in the air, but I think the Riders built some confidence. They needed that last win desperately, and they were finally able to get it done. And I just think that takes a lot of pressure off them right now. And now they're in pretty good stead as far as getting into the playoffs. The math would have to be really harsh against them at this point for them to not make it, and now they can look at a home playoff date. And I think they're playing for something that's really important for them right now. And so I like the Riders and where they're at going into this game. So I just think they're going to win. I think they've done some good things offensively in the last few weeks. They just haven't generated the turnovers that they did earlier in the year, but I think now they're able to get back to that. We'll see what happens in the run game. Armstead was so important to them, but I still think Saskatchewan should be favored in this game. Okay,
what about the other two this weekend? Calgary, BC, like BBC at home's a 7.5, but then the Hamilton Tiger Cats roll in with Bo Levi looking like a young Danny McManus, and they chop up BC, and then Winnipeg and Hamilton. What do you think in both of those?
Yeah, look, I think BC will beat Calgary. Calgary is in a world of hurt, and they're going to be desperate too, because this is basically it. This is their must-win and in, or they're done, right? Even though mathematically they may still have a little bit of life, they have to win this game. And I just don't think there's enough there, or roster-wise, talent-wise. I do think that if you're the Lions, you've got to feel like this can't continue. They haven't won a home game at BC Place Stadium in 11. It'll be 11 weeks going into that game.
Wow.
So and this can't continue for Nathan Rourke. I think he showed so many good things in those 2 games that he won. He hasn't been awful in the last 2 games that they've lost, but I think there's another level for him to get to, and I think they'll find a way to get it done and, essentially, I don't want to say lock up, but all but lock up a playoff spot for themselves and still feel that they can chase Saskatchewan for a home playoff game and getting to second. And then you mentioned Winnipeg and Hamilton. 2 teams these are fantastic stories, right? You've got 2 teams that were 0-4 to start the year, and a lot of similar storylines, although we're used to Winnipeg winning in the last couple of seasons. We haven't been that way, thinking that way with Hamilton, right? So I still look at the rosters, and I think Winnipeg is a far superior team. I love what Bo Levi did against BC and what he's done in the last 4 games since he's come back off that benching. But at the end of the day, when I saw Winnipeg, their offense finally caught up to their defense, and their defense has been keeping them in games. They've won a bunch of games on the stretch, but it's been primarily on the backs of their defense. That offense, wow, the way they played in that game, now I can put them in the conversation as Grey Cup contender. So I think Winnipeg's going to find a way to beat Hamilton.
Okay, I wanted to mention this or ask you about this because I think it's wild. We're going to play the clip later, Colson, later in the show. What is the deal with so many balls hitting the scoreboard and BC Place this year? Like, what's changed? Are they kicking it higher than before? Like, it seems odd.
I got to be honest. I think Stefan Flintoff is trying to do it. It's a tempting target, and I think he just wants to hit the damn thing. I was shocked that it actually got stuck this time, because usually it's kind of just barely grazed it, and we've debated whether or not they were even going to stop the play if they even noticed it grazed it. But this time it got stuck up there, and you're only allowed a limited number of kicking balls in a CFL game. So now all of a sudden I think you're allowed 9 and you lose one. So you probably get a little nervous at that point, but. To be honest, like, Flintoff has really had his ups and downs this year, right? Like, I mean, there are some that, that he's managed to nail and some that he's managed to shank all season, but, and he's got a pretty good global kicker that's on his tail, chasing him right now, right? But he also brings that added value as a holder, and I don't think they want to mess with that as well. But, when he gets a hold of him, he can sky it like that, right? But it's been up and down, and quite often, he follows up, like the 3 kicks that have hit the scoreboard, he's followed it up with a bad one, right? So you don't want to hit that if you're him.
Yeah. Hey, Farhan, DA here. So looking ahead to the playoffs here in the Western Conference, obviously I think we know what Winnipeg is. We'll leave them kind of out of it.
Yeah.
The rest of the teams are kind of struggling to find an identity, especially on offense. Who do you see as sort of coming out of that pack and really being having a team being scared to play them? Like, I don't look at the rest of the teams and go, someone's going to be worried to have this team come into their barn or vice versa. And do you see any inklings of sort of someone stepping out of that shell?
I don't. And I say that because, look, I think in the end right now the math is stacked too far against Edmonton and Calgary, so it's going to come down to BC and Saskatchewan. And I think both those teams have some O-line issues. Now, I think BC's got the potential to improve their O-line issues because I think Gerald Broxton probably makes it back for the Saskatchewan game, right? Like he'll be back soon, and he's their best lineman. So when he comes back, they have the ability to kind of get right there. And then David Mackey and Javon Cotoy are probably also back for that Saskatchewan game. So I think there's a bit of a ceiling there. But with Armstead, he can make a lot of people look right in Saskatchewan. Now, to me, if BC goes and plays at Winnipeg in a Western final, it's going to be Groundhog Day, as it was for the last couple of years. Yes, William Stanback gives BC a different dimension that they haven't necessarily had, but I just don't think stylistically they're necessarily equipped to go into Winnipeg and win there. Maybe I'm wrong, but defensively they've got some challenges there. Saskatchewan might be more equipped to go in to Winnipeg and win, right? They're going to be more comfortable with the conditions, and things like that. But so for me, I just don't think either one of them right now has the ability to go there and play smash mouth football in the Western final.
Okay, we go.
I think the Western semi is going to be epic. Yeah. I just don't know what the final looks like.
We only got about just over 2 minutes here, and I want to get to some NFL because people like when we talk NFL with you. Where is Raiders receiver Devontae Adams going to end up?
It's a great question. Everybody wants to point to the Jets and try to get him reunited with Aaron Rodgers, and I think that makes a lot of sense because when you really look at that receiving core outside of Wilson, I think they're pretty ordinary at receiver. They're ordinary or they're really young, like one of the other, right? So I think they have the biggest motivation to go out and get him. I can't see a scenario where the Chiefs can make it work in the absence of Rashee Rice. But I think I think the Jets are probably the most likely destination for where he lands. And if he does, I don't think the Jets are a contender legitimately, but I think he could make them one.
I was watching Mina Kimes this morning from ESPN, and I think it was her. But then they're starting to get the narrative of Washington as a possible place. No connection there. He wants to go to either New Orleans or the Jets because of familiarity. Okay, I got to ask you, after week 4, Farhan, who are the pretenders quickly in the NFL that everyone's foaming at the mouth over right now?
Buffalo, Cincinnati, because I think people still think that they've got a shot in all of that. I think they're a pretender.
Yeah.
I think the Saints are a pretender. And they're 2-2 now, so they especially the way that went down. When I look at the contenders right now, the Chiefs are always going to be there. They're sitting at 4-0. They got the best player on the planet playing quarterback, and eventually they'll figure it out a receiver, and they'll get some other key pieces back. I think Houston is legit. I think Detroit is legit. I think Minnesota is legit. And we'll see about San Francisco. So many injuries there. Can they hang on long enough? I don't believe Seattle is legit. So, and I don't know how many people really consider them to be that team anyway, with what that offensive line looks like and how banged up their defense is. But, yeah, in terms of the teams that I am still buying, definitely the Chiefs, the Vikings, the Lions, and Houston for sure.
All right, that wraps it right there. Good job, my man. I know you're busy doing the CFL prod meeting this morning or this afternoon, so I would totally appreciate you hopping on, even though it was over the phone. We didn't get to see your pretty face.
I haven't even shaved. Got a torn T-shirt on, but I did get a haircut this morning, so you're missing out.
Yeah,
we'll make sure it happens.
Glenn Suter doesn't shave either. We're just going to send you and Glenn some razors on the West Coast. I'll go to Costco this week.
We game day, man. We're calling the game on Friday. I will shave Friday during the day.
Awesome, Farhan. Let's catch up next week.
Thanks, Farhan.
All right, see you guys. Have a great weekend.
Right on from TSN, Farhan Lalji on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Time for a break. Going into news here. When we come back, after we got the Freeze Tallman Indigenous Spotlight, the newest Regina Pat. We're going to be joined by Connor Bear from the Ochapowace First Nation. It is the Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com, and as always on 620 CKRM.
Rider Nation, the all-new Sports Cage is bringing you Cooperators Rough Rider football like never before. Now, for every home game, you can watch the Rider Radio live stream on our Sports Cage YouTube channel. Saturday, October 2nd, the Riders take on the Lions. The live stream starts at 2 with Countdown to Kickoff, brought to you by Croft Electric. And we wrap up the game with a Sports Cage Radio Roundtable, brought to you by McDougall Auction. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. And don't miss a minute of our Rider Radio live stream.
Hey Rider Nation, this is Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Listen to this. How does a 50-50 payday sound? Sounds like a win to me. Huddle up to riders5050.ca and you can purchase 50-50 tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can even score quickly with the early bird prize. This week it's a road trip to Edmonton to see the Oilers, and you'll be in for the massive weekly jackpots. Buy now at riders5050.ca and support amateur football in Saskatchewan. Sponsored by ISC. License LR 2426.
Get the farm equipment you need at upcoming Ritchie Brothers farm sales this fall. Ritchie Brothers is hosting close to 20 farm auctions between October 9th and December 12th. For the latest auction schedule, visit rbauction.com. Choose from hundreds of farm equipment items, including combines, tractors, trucks, headers, trailers, farmland, and much more. Register for free, then bid online at rbauction.com.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. It's mostly cloudy and it's 11 degrees in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Sherwood Co-op Liquor Store. Now open in Harbor Landing and on Rochdale Boulevard, and by Mercedes-Benz Regina for those who can. Mercedes-Benz-Regina.ca. The leader of the Saskatchewan Party says his province's future relies on providing opportunities for young people. Scott Moe says he saw many of his friends leave the province in the 80s and 90s and that the trend needs to stop. If re-elected in this month's election, he says the Saskatchewan Party will increase the government's graduate retention program benefit by 20%.
That will take that rebate for young people in our province from $20,000 to $24,000 for graduates with a 4-year degree, and graduates with a 1 to 3-year degree will also experience a 20% increase.
Moe says more than 85,000 students have benefited from the program. The Saskatchewan NDP says Scott Moe can't be trusted to reduce taxes if he's re-elected on October 28th. Regina Mount Royal candidate Trent Witherspoon says Moe has hiked taxes 31 times in a single year, making life more unaffordable. He says Moe's recent election promise of personal income tax relief is nonsense.
Scott Moe only seems to promise affordability and tax cuts when he needs your vote. But the people of Saskatchewan, they know better.
Witherspoon says an NDP government would suspend the gas tax, slash the sales tax from children's clothes and some grocery items, and better manage the province's books. The Buffalo Party of Saskatchewan is also looking to bring back the Saskatchewan Transportation Company. STC was shut down by the current government as a cost-cutting measure in 2017. The government felt it could no longer subsidize the provincial bus service. Buffalo Party leader Philip Zajac says it would be run like a business with a good business model. Zajac says it's the least the government can do for seniors who build this province.
When you become a senior and driving long distances becomes difficult, but you want to go and visit relatives or go to a doctor appointment in a city that's hours away, you'll have reliable and inexpensive transportation to get to those places.
The bus service would be part of a new government ministry, the Ministry of Seniors and Veterans Affairs, which the party would set up if elected to form government. Healthcare workers represented by QP Local 5430 delivered 1,800 postcards to the legislature, all of them addressed to Scott Moe. The postcards are from healthcare workers and members of the public, talking about the healthcare crisis in Saskatchewan. Recruiting and retaining these workers is critical, according to QP Local 5430 President Bashir Jallow, and he says more money needs to be invested.
We know that the cost of living has gone up by about 27%, and the wages of healthcare workers have only gone up to about 40%.
Bashir says workers are getting burned out through overwork and stress because they're having trouble keeping up with the cost of living. That's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
What type of vehicle should you use for a fall hayride?
I bet you're going to be punny.
An automobile?
Ugh. Whatever type of vehicle you drive, fuel up at Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
As a member, fueling up means
sharing in the equity.
Buy a car wash or some snacks from the C-store.
It's like putting money in the bank.
You better believe it.
Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
Style. Performance. Upgrade your daily driver to the new 2023 Mercedes-Benz GLB 250. This SUV packs a punch with features that make a normal drive exhilarating. The ultimate in automotive luxury can be yours for $419 bi-weekly. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Mercedes-Benz Regina will help you find the exact model you want. Take a test drive and feel the difference. Stop by for an award-winning experience at Mercedes-Benz Regina, recipient of the Star Dealer Award.
And now it's time for your 620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast for Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and brought to you by Wolf Industries, your truck repair specialists in Granville, servicing all sizes of trucks, SGI accredited. Tonight, partly cloudy and a low of 0. Tomorrow, partly sunny and a high of 12. Friday, mostly sunny and a high of 19. And on Saturday, mostly cloudy with some spotty showers and a high of 15. At this hour in Moose Jaw, there's a light rain shower. Winds are from the northwest at 39, gusting to 52, and it's 9 degrees. Regina is mostly cloudy. Winds are from the northwest at 35, gusting to 46, and it's 11 degrees. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street. Whether Smoky's after you or not, when you're on the road in your big rig, you're in a hurry to get to where you're going, and you need a part shop you can trust. Wolf Industries is the premium choice. They're your family-run truck mechanic shop with a full line of parts for big semis, with certified AC technicians for the hot summer. Stop in at their Grenfell location for all the parts and repairs you need. They're SGI accredited for safety inspections and have 24-hour emergency call-out. Wolf Industries, the best for your truck. 10-4.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by the Saskatchewan Roughriders Foundation 50/50. Visit www.riders5050.ca to purchase your tickets for this week's game. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to Hour 2 in the all-new Sports Cage. If you're watching the stream, sportscage.com and on X, or just listening on the old transistor radio. Thanks for tuning in. Barney Shanker, Darren Anderson, Colson, and Curtis is here. Curtis has even chimed in on the show today. So for all you Curtis fans, that was in Hour 1. You're going to have to go back and listen to it in podcast form. That's how Colson will have it slapped together here momentarily. Talked to Scott Schultz earlier. Great interview. And Farhan Lalji. I have to mention, before we go any further, it is brought to you by the Rider Foundation 50/50 today. And get your tickets, 50/50, riders5050.ca before tomorrow at 5 p.m. because then you're in for the early bird prize, and the early bird prize is 2 tickets to an Edmonton Oilers ice hockey game, lower bowl seats. Yes, I said ice hockey. I love calling it that way. And then you get 2 nights hotel. We're not sure what hotel. Or you can just take $1,800 cash. Riders5050.ca. It is time for the Freeze Tallman Indigenous Spotlight, Athlete Spotlight for the month. Fries Tallman right now. A big window door sale coming up over there. So if you need windows and doors, if your windows and doors are sketchy and it's that winter's coming where the draft's going to be blasting through and then you're like, where's that draft coming from? From the window. Then Fries Tallman is a place you want to go check out. And they just, end of season 2. If you got jobs to get done, you only got a few more weeks here before we are probably sitting in snow. So let's go out on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline and the Fries Tallman Indigenous Sports Spotlight. Newest Regina Pat. Connor Bear joining us. Connor, how's it going? It must be nice when you got the news that you were getting traded to the Regina Pats, the closest WHL team to the Ochapways First Nation, where you're from. You must have been pumped.
Yeah, I was excited and just so happy to be closer to home and have so much support from all my family. So close.
Okay, I want to go through your career, maybe the last few years here, because your Calgary Hitmen property, you play with Warman in the midget AAA league last year in Saskatchewan, but then you also... It says you also have a game in Weyburn in the SJHL. I don't. That's kind of the trifecta. Did that really happen? And then I was going to say, even if you wanted to go with the quad, maybe the Round Lake Bears could have brought you in, so you could have played SJ, Senior, WHL, and AAA midget. You're laughing. You got that one.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of last minute. I was just coming home from Warman. And they just happened to call me and say that they wanted an extra guy for a game. I don't think it was the most important game, but they just wanted to see how I would do and how I'd fit in. But yeah, I'm really happy I got to go down there and play for them.
Okay, so you did the academy thing. You think you played your first year Bantam AA in Melville, and then you went off to the academy. I think it was in Winnipeg, right? And yep. So that experience and the academy, did you feel that elevated your hockey and your skill, or was it just maybe more the structure and the coaching? What did you like about the academy angle?
I mean, everything about it. It really improved me inside and out. They are a great academy, and I say ever since I went to Winnipeg, I've excelled in my hockey.
Yeah.
Nice. So obviously excited to be home. You've been in Manitoba, briefly in Alberta with Calgary. Oh, what about tickets? So, you got the grade 8 girlfriend texting you up, give me a couple tickets here. We're coming in to watch the Pats. Or how are you handling that?
I don't think it'd be much of the girlfriend, but definitely my mom and all. My mom is really trying to put everybody to come out and watch me. So it's really good.
Yeah, no, the support would be great. Okay, you're a 6th round WHL pick. Now you're in the league, right? So explain maybe if there's kids out there listening or parents where it doesn't really matter where you're drafted or if you're drafted. You just kind of probably have to seize that opportunity when you get it when you go to camp, right?
Yeah. I didn't really focus on where I was picked in the draft, more just keep working on myself, and it really paid off. And luckily enough, I made it to the dub. Whether I was 1st round or 12th round, it didn't really matter to me.
This might be a dumb question because I think I might know who you answered, but who was your idol growing up when it comes to hockey?
Well, for a little bit, it was my cousin Ethan Bear.
Yeah.
Since I skated with him, and I've always looked up to him, but as I get older now, I'd say more of Brad Marchand or Matthew Tkachuk.
Nice.
Yes. That's how my boy's first year Bantam AA right now, and that's how I tell him to play. Play like Matthew Tkachuk or Brad Marchand. So that's awesome. The other thing on OCHAP, if you've never been to this rink, it is unbelievable. Like, explain that rink to people. How do you explain that rink to people where it's like it's out on this First Nation, it's kind of off the beaten path, and then you get there and it's like a beautiful facility?
Yeah, I don't know. They built it a long time ago, but when I first saw it, I was just blown away because it's such a beautiful rink, and I honestly would love to play in that rink again with the Pats or Round Lake Bears if I get the chance or whatever.
I wonder how that works. If the Pats get knocked out of the playoffs or don't make the playoffs, I don't think you can get released to play a little senior this year. You might have to wait till you're older. But let's talk about the Pats. I know it hasn't been very long. You're rolling in here. What do you see? Like, what's the culture like? What's the team like? What are you seeing in the locker room and on the ice?
I mean, I know most of the guys here, but I think it's a great culture and team, and I think we got a pretty good chance at doing well as long as we stick to our game and work together.
What are some short-term goals for you? Maybe like this season.
Obviously stay in the lineup and improve myself and just work and maybe put up some points if I.
Is there one part of your game that you think you need to work on that maybe Coach Brad or Ryan is going to help you with? Like, is it maybe skating? Is it awareness? Is it the defensive zone, the offensive zone? Is there kind of one part that you would like to work on?
One big thing I'd like to work on is just putting myself in the right spot to get the puck or finding the right positions to put myself in and make good plays.
And then what about long-term goals for you? Now with this whole NCAA thing opening up and your teammate Braxton Whitehead, are you starting to maybe send some letters out there, or what's in serious? So what's a long-term goal for you, Connor?
Well, obviously stay in the dub, and if I get the chance, hopefully get drafted in the NHL, but really just slowly make my way up to the AHL or whatever leagues above this and make my way up.
Right on, man. Looking forward to watching you twirl out there. I guess this weekend is the next game. Thanks for taking some time today. Awesome. Nice to have you on the squad. And I'm sure you'll have a lot of hometown support in the old Brandt Center.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you so much for having me on this.
Right on. There is newest Regina Pat, Connor Bear, joining us on the all-new Sportscage. And it's the Freeze Tallman Indigenous Athlete Spotlight. That's a kid DA, right? Like, your brother played NCAA, played Junior A. He gets 6th round of the Bantam draft, still got taken in the Bantam draft. Not everyone does. Yeah. But now he's like, hey, boom, in and playing in the league. And the Pats obviously see something that they make the move from Calgary to get him.
Well, right, and the impressive thing when you're not chosen in, say, the first, second round is you obviously showed mettle, because sometimes you spend a high draft pick on a kid and you're really wanting that kid to stay on, and maybe you overlook a little bit of weaknesses in his game. Obviously Connor showed that he belongs there, right? And that's the nice thing about that, is that he doesn't have any misgivings that he's been given a shot because they wasted a pick on him. Big jump though. AAA, right to the dub. It's a big jump. It's gonna come at him fast, and it seems like a very mature kid though, and ready to tackle it. So very exciting for him.
Yeah, no, very well spoken, and the like you said, his cousin Ethan Bear, and then just the Bear family in general from around the Ochap and around that area. NCAA hockey. I think there's the females that played NCAA. So very, and I think there's some different families, but yeah, it's a name that runs deep in the hockey circles here in Saskatchewan. Speaking of the Regina Pats, they are back in action at home Saturday at the Brandt Center. We do have it here on the home of the Regina Pats. It's actually on CKRM2 though, because the Riders are still going to be playing tackle football. So you're going to have to go and listen to this one on CKRM2. Dante DeCarrier's got the pregame show at 5:30, and puck drop at the Brandt Center on Saturday against Edmonton is 6 p.m. Time for a quick break. We'd love you to be part of the show. Call or text the all-new Sports Cage 1-866-767-0620, or just text in the Capital Ford Lincoln text line 936-6262. When we get back, we're going to hear more from Rider practice today, and one of the players that could be back in the lineup. It's the all-new Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090. Rider Nation, the all-new Sports Cage is bringing you Cooperators Rough Rider football like never before. Now, for every home game, you can watch the Rider Radio live stream on our Sports Cage YouTube channel. Saturday, October 2nd, the Riders take on the Lions. The live stream starts at 2 with Countdown to Kickoff, brought to you by Croft Electric. And we wrap up the game with a Sports Cage Radio Roundtable, brought to you by McDougall Auction. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. And don't miss a minute of our Rider Radio live stream.
You get home from work, and as soon as you open the door, you realize, oh, this place smells like shocking surprise. You've got sewer problems. Let's be honest, sewer problems literally stink. You need to call someone who will get your sewer situation all sorted out. You need the sewer experts at Bronco Plumbing and Heating. They're number one in the number two business. Bronco Plumbing and Heating, serving Regina, Moose Jaw, and the surrounding area. 306-781-2090. Give them a call. They'll treat you right.
Regina Pats hockey is back, and that net is wide open to renew your plates. When you take that big slap shot, do it online with Dusick and Barlow. Request a quote for anything you need. It's a true breakaway, and as easy as it is for the Pats to score that winning goal. When it comes to online plate renewal, there's no high sticking involved, just the most valuable players in the game. Your local Regina insurance brokers, Dusick and Barlow. Local owners, local business, SaskInsurance.com.
620 CKRM and the Sports Cage are proud to be the voice of sports in Saskatchewan. Join the Sports Cage for the monthly Fries Tallman Indigenous Athlete Showcase, highlighting builders, athletes, and coaches who have had an impact on Indigenous sports across the province. Fries Tallman Lumber in Regina and Fort Qu'Appelle is committed to building a better tomorrow for Saskatchewan's First Nation. The Fries Tallman Indigenous Athlete Showcase, exclusively on the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
Hey Rider Nation, this is Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Listen to this. How does a 50-50 payday sound? Sounds like a win to me. Huddle up to riders5050.ca and you can purchase 50-50 tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can even score quickly with the early bird prize. This week it's a road trip to Edmonton to see the Oilers. And you'll be in for the massive weekly jackpots. Buy now at riders5050.ca and support amateur football in Saskatchewan. Sponsored by ISC. License LR 2426.
Hi, this is Stephen Arndt from the Tire Stewardship of Saskatchewan. We're the ones responsible for recycling your tires. We're a non-profit corporation that was established to serve as the scrap tire recycling program operator in Saskatchewan, approved by the Ministry of the Environment. We're responsible to all stakeholders, including consumers who pay the tire environmental fee, the collectors, the Ministry of the Environment, and the people of Saskatchewan. Visit tssk.ca to see how you can recycle your tires.
Degelman Industries has been engineering tough, high-performance rock removal equipment for over 60 years. The legendary 7200 Signature Rock Picker is designed to provide relentless heavy stone work day in and day out. With a massive 28 inches of clearance between the paddle assembly and the grill, large stones are easily and accurately picked. Quantities are limited for fall, so contact your local Degelman dealer or visit degelman.com for more information. Degelman, engineered tough.
The all-new Sports Cage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
The whole gang here. We're talking, what are we talking? Housing right now with Colson and Curtis. They're both trying to get in the market out there. I know a good, no free plugs here. I know a good mortgage broker when you guys are looking. DA and I both know him.
Yeah.
He'll help you out. It's the all-new Sports Cage. Barney Shankaruk, Darren Anderson, Colson, and Curtis with you. It is for the Saskatchewan Rough Rider Foundation 50-50. Riders5050.ca tomorrow by 5. And then you're in for the early bird prize also. Trip to watch the Oilers play in Edmonton with accommodations, or just take $1,800 cash. I've never been to a game in that rink.
Me either. I haven't been. Yeah, it's on my list. I've heard it's a great time. Obviously, Stanley Cup playoffs last year would have been top notch, but I think even random game in February, pretty fun.
Yeah. It's not on my bucket list.
No,
not even that list. Like if I go, I go. So actually, a buddy just talked to him from Edmonton today, Assured Park. No, St. Albert. I get those places mixed up. he's like, "Oh, you coming to Zach Bryan?"
Yeah.
You're a big
in
Zach
November.
Bryan fan.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
I'm like, I'm not a big fan.
Really?
Like, to drive all the way to Edmonton, I would need to be...
Barney, all the way to Edmonton. You sound like it's in Siberia.
What is it?
Come on, Sasky boy. It's 8 hours.
8 hours. Just a boring drive. Like, that drive, though, the Calgary one is bad from Regina. Being from Saskatoon, Edmonton was always easy. It's like, okay,
Right.
I'll be there in 5 hours. Or I'll be there, boom, zip. But there was always that stretch coming home, and then now Regina, it's like when you hit after Lloydminster, what is it, like Lashburn, Maidstone area, it's like, is this trip ever going to end? But then I find that with the Calgary as bad and Winnipeg. I despise driving to Winnipeg. Maybe it's because the only time I've ever driven to Winnipeg is for youth hockey, and doesn't matter if it's in the spring or if it's in the winter. There's always some sort of blizzard, and the road's always icy, and semis are jackknifed, and we're going to play hockey in Winnipeg. And I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I'd rather drive to Calgary and spend the extra 2.5 hours on the road. I don't know what it is. I agree. I hate it. It's always crappy. Any kind of weather, or, shoulder seasons are terrible.
I remember somebody saying, why don't you guys fly out of Winnipeg? Drive to Winnipeg and fly out. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go on the trip that bad. I'll just stay here.
Okay, so Zach Bryan was in, I had tickets actually in Grand Forks, so that's about the same, 7.5 hours. Way better drive through North Dakota. You get on that North Dakota,
I got a speeding ticket.
That's $5.
I took Gabrielle to Kenny Chesney at that stadium, and I got a speeding ticket on the way back, and it was 110 scoots American.
No way. Well, my bro was at UMD. He drive back and forth, obviously, all the time. And he could make it in ridiculous time. He literally, as fast as his old beater car could go through North Dakota, and he got a few speeding tickets. It was $5. Paid the cop right on the spot.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. I think that old wives' tale back in the day. See, I don't remember it being 7 hours, but now that I look it up on the map, it is. See, I went the way down from Brandon because we spent the night in Brandon.
Oh, okay.
Golden Knights were in the playoffs. That was the year, and I was heavy invested in the Golden Knights, so made it to Brandon, and then I went down. But yeah, so I for some reason I was thinking it was only 4 hours. So you didn't go to that concert?
No, I was out of town in Vegas, so I sold the tickets, but my brother went, said it was fantastic. Zach Bryan's a bucket list for me for sure.
Yeah, lots of people are really, really, really digging him. Is he playing 2 shows in Edmonton?
That I don't know. I think it's only 1. I know it was 2, and he added another one in Grand Forks. I don't know if he added another one in Edmonton.
I thought the buddy that I talked to today said it was 2, and then he's not playing anywhere else around these parts. Edmonton's the only...
I don't think so. I think Vancouver, Edmonton, as close as
Saddle Dome doesn't get concerts. Something with the roof. When we had Rhett Warner on a couple weeks ago, he mentioned that it's something with the Saddle Dome roof that they've never been able to get awesome concerts. Maybe someone out there in Sportscage land can text and
makes sense. If you're doing anything in the round, how would you hang? A lot of those concerts now are hanging all that stuff right in the middle off the roof. Can't be an easy thing when the roof's concave like that.
No. Very,
not
very difficult. 936-6262, Capital Ford Lincoln text line if you want to chime in on anything, or if you also want to play Pick the Score and try and win 2 tickets to the October 12th game against the BC Lions. What is the score, though, this Saturday in Edmonton? That's what we need to know. This Saturday in Edmonton, that game is right here on 620 CKR. Ram the Croft Electric countdown to kickoff. Justin Duncan Westgate starts at 2. Kickoff network-wide at 5 p.m. Speaking of the Riders, Dave Thomas was there today. It sounds like CJ Rivas could be playing this weekend in Edmonton. Dave caught up to him. It sounds like he's ready to go.
What's it like? How are you feeling back on the field? You look comfortable.
Yeah, I feel great, man. I feel great. Happy to be back. It was hard watching my guys go out there last week and play, but they did a hell of a job, so I'm just happy to be back out there with them and fight.
Obviously, you wanted to be out there, but what did you see from your group executing while you weren't there?
Man, everybody just played sound, efficient football. You know, we didn't give up any big plays, really no busts on defense. Guys were flying around making plays. You got Sales, you got my dog Phil stepped in that Sam and played a hell of a game. So I'm just proud of all my guys, really.
So you watched the film from Edmonton last week going into this week. Do you have something to prove?
For sure. They beat us bad last time, you know. And us as a defense, as a whole, as a team, we don't like that at all. So we got bad taste in our mouth. So it's time to go back there and get
As Luke Mullender likes to say, it's all assignment, execution, and alignment.
100%.
So is that as simple as it is to stopping this run game?
Simple as that, man. We just be gap sound and do our job. Our job will be just fine.
Obviously, this time of year, it's very important to come away with 2 points. Is this any more important than any other 2 points this season?
No, I just want to know every week. Want to know. We just got to keep doing our thing. But we're going to want to know every week.
Yeah, that'll be good to have him back. The one thing, let's stay CFL here before we forget. We gotta play. That's CJ Rivas. Like, just before going any further on that, it's like it's hard to keep track on these injuries. Okay, how long was he out for again? Which game did he get injured in?
I know, one game. He's only been out one game. But he was on the 6th game. I think that's so they put everyone on the 6th game just in case the injury lingers, then they can save the salary.
Yeah.
But great to have him back. Obviously, crucial game, and he's been great this year.
Man, you look at this. You look at the 6-game injured list, and it is wow, like a who's who. Like, remember Jamarcus Hardrick?
I know, our big off-season signing.
Like, that seems like 2 years ago.
It does.
Doesn't it? What a great guy. I interviewed him once. What a mountain of a man. I don't even know if I bet you he's not even in town.
I don't know. I don't know if he's got to be rehabbing somewhere. So he's probably doing it the best that the best place he can do it. Because I think we talked about it early when he got hurt. I think I was on, and he said he's itching to get back, and he's not looking at sort of a career ender here. So he's got to be somewhere getting ready.
AJ Ouellette. It sounds like he was back on the field, maybe second team-ish practice, Dave was saying today. Looks like he could be close. I will have to eat some crow on that if he comes back next week, because I thought he was done. Like that, he just no regard for his body. Just runs and through everything and jumps and dives. And he's like doing Cirque du Soleil stuff, but playing football and getting just cranked.
Yeah, and obviously as the weather starts to turn here, that's a guy I think you would love to have on the field with a helmet on. You know what I mean? Like, just a guy that's going to do whatever he can to get that extra yard.
But how many kilometers you got left in that body? That's the question, So when do you kind of strategically put him in? It's like, oh, surprise! AJ, let's in. Okay, now we're back to, Armstead's back. Oh, no, Hickson's back. Oh, wait, Ratkovich is in. I love it. We talked about it. People weren't joining us at 3 o'clock. We're just talking about the Riders. You can't. It's hard to game plan against them. And if you've ever coached flag football, high school football, shout out Friday Night Lights, by the way, high school. We want your game for Friday. Hi at sportscage.com. But if you've ever coached against any kind of football, you always know, okay, well, they're going to throw to that kid. They're going to throw to that guy. They're going to cover the tall kid. They go to him every time. That's easy. But not easy. It's easier to game plan against. In this case, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't think, at the beginning of the year, I don't think the Riders were thinking, hey, let's have so many guys roll through. The Elks won't know what's coming at them in week 17. But it is an advantage at this point. And to your point, all 4 of those running backs are so different. Like, it's not like we're plugging in guys that are clones of themselves. They're, Hickson's a little scatty, smaller guy. Armstead's kind of in between. And like you said, AJ just runs over guys. So,
like I talked about, again, earlier in the show, you look at the game on the weekend against Ottawa, and you look at the player stats and for Saskatchewan. So we had Keyshawn Johnson had 6 receptions. Del Duncan Busby, we're going to talk to him tomorrow here live on the show, 7 receptions.
Gamer.
Emelis, 7. Sean Bain Jr. had 2. Kean Schaefer Baker, only 2. Okay, well, we're going to key on that. We're going to key on shit. Oh, never mind. He only had 2. It's like, oh, God. Hey, defensive coordinator, you're fired. And then Armstead had 3 catches. And then you had Colton Hunchak. He had 2 targets as well. Like, it is, I love it. There's just, you can't. One thing I was going to say is, see on the other side, for Ottawa, spread around a bit, but not as much as the Riders. And it's like some of these guys, and you looked at the injured list here. Like I'm just going, oh yeah, forgot about him, Dante Myers. Like remember how good he was for 2 games?
Yeah, comes out shining star.
Oh, so good, gone. But
gone.
I wonder if you mentioned how many guys they've gone through, like the amount of jerseys or stall plates in the locker room. And go ahead, Colson.
How many do you think would get on the Grey Cup if they won, right? Because I know there's rules for that. Like
what is that rule?
Yeah,
I think you got to be on the roster for the game because there was a big thing with Matt Dominguez who got hurt right at the end of the season. Obviously, a key part of the team, and then didn't make it. I remember that story. So
and
I think
can't
you got to
call
be
in
on
a
the
favor.
roster.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a little thing.
And like I know every league does it a little differently, but even there's sometimes where they like, oh, this player has been with us for 15 years, retires, and the next year they win, so they get him a ring too or whatever, right?
Yeah, rings are different. Rings you can get for whoever.
Yeah,
Gainer can get a ring, but if you're gonna
big bling guy,
you're gonna get that name on the cup forever. Like that's there forever.
Yeah,
so there's
that's
rules
why I'm
around
wondering
that.
because we've had like 70 guys start or play
That's
this
a
year.
good point. But then I kind of remember that when we had Dominguez on, I should actually shoot him a text here and ask him because that makes sense that he didn't play in the game. If you don't play in the game, that's kind of a bogus rule. Someone should fight that.
Especially if
someone should get offended by that, and then it'll change.
Yeah, especially if someone starts all 18 games, 1 or 2 playoff games, and then gets injured in the last playoff game, can't play in the cup, right? Like,
or you're such a key piece to get him to the Grey Cup. Hypothetically, let's say it was a quarterback of wherever, and then it's like, yeah, he got us here, and then backup went in, and didn't that Winnipeg? Remember the Bombers had to play. Was it Dinwiddie?
Yeah,
against us.
Yeah, so Kevin Glenn finally makes the cup, gets hurt in the final, in the Eastern Final, and can't play in the cup. I know. Maybe you just do it like, hey, there's 50 spots. Winning team pick, but then you got some owner who puts his kid on there or something like that. So
that's kind of Stanley Cup-ish, isn't it? Stories, or you could just take it to Donnie or Ren and the team at Extreme Hockey. They can engrave anything.
There you go.
So it's like when you have the Grey
Cup,
can
put it in font 2, and you can get like 100 guys on there.
Who did this? I don't know. There's always a way. Always got to find a loophole, right? That's what it's. That's what it's all about. You mentioned Colson. Your stat guy that you followed, Riders are leading the league in unnecessary penalties?
Unnecessary roughness penalties. Yeah, we've taken 18. I heard somewhere that it might have been 19, but what he said was 18. So we've got 18. Edmonton's second with 14. And most teams are at around 8 or 9. So we're double what everyone else is doing, which isn't really that good because it's unnecessary roughness.
But we got double the injuries, double the penalty. We're just whatever at this point. Riders are doing whatever.
Hey, like Schultze said in hour 1, just win. At this point, I don't take 7 unnecessary roughness penalties. If you win the game, I don't care. Now, if you take them and we don't win, there's a big problem. But, not going to get too worked up over that at this point. I can't remember an egregious one. We've had some other years.
I know what I was going to mention. I saw, when I was watching the highlights, because again, I couldn't watch the game, so I listened to the whole thing, which is fantastic. Dave and Luke call a really good football game. Like because trust me, you've listened to, and
I've listened to every game this year. I have to sit behind this board and listen to every single one. Yeah, they do a great job.
So there's someone called into the post-game show, and I remembered it, and then I was watching the highlights, and I'm like, that's what that guy, I think it was a guy, that's what that guy was talking about. It was when Harris got sacked, and the defender does hit him low. It's a low sack. And I was like, whoa, Chikai, how... That looked worse to me than the Strevler hanging out in the mosh pit with a 1-yard drop and then getting rolled into. And I'm like, is anyone going to bring that up? Like, I thought we can't hit quarterbacks low at all. While he was kind of twisting them down and did it. No.
It's either, right, because that was the no excuses. I thought that was the thing, no excuses.
Are we going semantics here, or is it you hit any quarterback low?
Well, hey, he's got 9 more days. It's 10 days after the game. When we got 8 more days, maybe the fine will be coming down later, but it wasn't a penalty, obviously.
And even as a Rider fan, so if you're in the 204 in Manitoba and you're listening, because I know we have some people that listen there, that would be absolute horse, you know what? If they find that guy for that, that'd be ridiculous.
Ridiculous, because I don't even remember the play.
You hit him low, whatever. He's not made of glass. He's a quarterback. It's a physical game. Well, we're going to start really, what was the verbiage that they used? Hammering down on any hits to a quarterback. Okay, what if a quarterback is out at the wrong, like how Armstead got hurt? Guard pulls, quarterback goes out to try and throw a block. Quarterback gets absolutely lit up. Well, but he's still a quarterback. But I know he didn't have the ball. Or it's if he rolls out and then he gets tackled from behind low and breaks his knee.
I think they got to, and I know this is subjective, but I think they need to move to an unnecessary hit. Like, I get it. Let's protect the quarterbacks. But it's got to be an unnecessary hit. To your point, Strevler got hurt, and that sucks, and it sucks for the league because he's a character. But that wasn't an unnecessary hit. That was part of the play. Like that, to say that he needed to hit him within a 3-inch area is crazy to me. And I get it. Like the first one on Zach, I don't think he needed to hit him on that play. So you can fine him for that. But that's the thing to me. You should be able to make a subjective call to go, that was within the bounds of the play.
And I almost feel that short yardage quarterbacks, all bets are off. Everything's off.
You're a running back now.
You're a running back. Exactly. It's like boxing, and the guy accidentally hits you, headbutts you because you dove in.
Right.
And it's like, or you get an elbow. Well, that's going to happen.
Well, so say we put in Armstead as,
quarterback. Can't hit him low.
Can't hit him low anymore? Like, why not just do that? Just
maybe that's the loophole.
Do the direct snap every second in medium.
Yeah, we just figured it out.
Yeah, can't tackle me.
AJ Ouellette's our quarterback. You can't hit him low. Can't hit him. It's good. Hey,
don't hit him in the head.
There we go. Now we got more kilometers on AJ. There, we figured out a loophole. That's why we work well together.
Mace is just upset we gave away the trick, the banana in a tailpipe for the playoffs.
Schultze's banana in a tailpipe. If you didn't listen an hour one, go back and listen to that podcast because he tells an amazing story. What was it? He's got Eric Tillman. No, not Tillman. Or was it?
I think it was Tillman.
Yeah.
Somebody was holding
Tillman,
John Chick to the ground.
He's got diabetes. Yeah. Oh God!
What a line! All time are so much fun. Break time. Head over to sportscage.com and answer our poll question if you haven't been there. Also, we have. You know what? Go and answer the poll question. If you just go to sportscage.com to the home page, I'll read it for you here verbatim. Where do you think the Saskatchewan Roughriders will finish in the CFL's West Division? You never know. If you go there and vote, we got this extra little batch of Rider tickets to give away. I'm just saying, you're never going to know how we're going to give these away. We are doing Pick the Score right now. And again, after 5 o'clock, we could be Pick the Score with more tickets to give away. You got to keep people on their toes. Right, Curtis? What are you chewing on over there? A tack?
No comment.
So if you're watching the stream, you don't get to see Curtis ever, but he is like such a smart aleck, as my mom would call him, and he's got these witty little one-liners, but as soon as you try and put him on the mic, he poops his pants. And he turns like super red. So I just love putting him.
I'm shy.
There, ladies, he's shy. It's the all-new Sports Cage. We're watching the stream, sportscage.com, and as always, the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
Water heater and water softener rentals are now available at Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. Instead of paying big money up front, you can rent a water heater and water softener directly from Bronco without the worry or hassle. They have a long history of renting water heaters and water softeners, and they're maintenance free. Bronco comes and does all that for you. Saskatchewan's best water heater rentals are from Bronco. Call 306-781-2090. Professional, courteous service. BroncoPlumbing.com.
Get the farm equipment you need at upcoming Ritchie Brothers farm sales this fall. Ritchie Brothers is hosting close to 20 farm auctions between October 9th and December 12th. For the latest auction schedule, visit rbauction.com. Choose from hundreds of farm equipment items, including combines, tractors, trucks, headers, trailers, farmland, and much more. Register for free, then bid online at rbauction.com.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Hey Rider Nation, this is Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Listen to this. How does a 50-50 payday sound? Sounds like a win to me. Huddle up to riders5050.ca and you can purchase 50-50 tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can even score quickly with the early bird prize. This week it's a road trip to Edmonton to see the Oilers, and you'll be in for the massive weekly jackpots. Buy now at riders5050.ca and support amateur football in Saskatchewan. Sponsored by ISC. License LR 2426.
Check us out online, streaming 24/7 at 620ckrm.com. Here's another country hit powered by Olympic Buildings on 620 CKRM.
Time now for the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League report on the all-new Sportscage. The SJHL report is brought to you by Southie Mainline, the Mainline Automotive Group's newest king of trucks. Southie Mainline, just 30 minutes north of Regina. Worth the drive, every time. Guaranteed.
Maybe from inside the organization, it might be maybe outside. No, they did have lots of guys returning up front and had a chance to get some firepower up front, and maybe some guys have exceeded expectations for that forward unit. So maybe a little bit expected. Defensively, they've been playing very well, which is not expected due to they lost 4 20-year-old defensemen last year, so a lot of inexperience in that back end, and keeping the puck out maybe with Ethan Farrell is coming back as a 20-year-old goalie. Maybe they expected to keep the puck out a little bit more than they have, but nonetheless, maybe expectations, maybe not as good right now early on, maybe as the season goes on, as these new players gel into that organization. So maybe for them, not as expected. Malville, I think you expected that a little bit. They had a great run last year to make the playoffs for the first time in about 6 or 7 years. So with Doug Johnson at the helm, he's a perennial winner in junior A hockey as a head coach. And with a lot of guys returning, maybe a little bit more expectations Malville-wise. But so maybe Yorkton kind of flew under the radar a little bit, especially with teams outside that organization.
Yeah, so what we're talking about out there in Radioland, CJHL Weekly Week 1 rankings, Yorkton was 3. We had Melville at 6, and then the Melfort Mustangs at 7. So well represented there from the SJHL. The showcase, the thing in Warman, Benny, I'm name escaping me right now, but that is back this year, and that's coming up in November.
Yeah, that's the Western All-Star Showcase. So
there it is. There's the name.
Yep, there it is. Yeah, Western All-Star Showcase. That's and I'm sure Kyle McIntyre made it up. He's going to take all the credit for it. But usually at the SJHL Showcase in Warman the last number of years. Just a great venue there at the Legends Center in Warman. Great facility. Had a chance to be close to an international airport in Saskatoon. And the thoughts around this at the MJHL and SJHL Showcase maybe didn't get the exposure of the scouts turning out as much as they want. So maybe bring in those 20 best players under 19 from the respective leagues to one place at one point, maybe attract more scouts, and I think it will. So we'll see what happens here at the beginning of November. But 20 of the top U19 players from Saskatchewan that are eligible for the World Junior A Challenge, and 20 from the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League will will take part in that event over the 3 days, and then 20 of those players will be named to the selection camp for Team Canada West for the World Junior A Challenge coming up in December in Camrose. So I think it's going to be a great event.
Yeah.
If you're around the Saskatoon area there in Warman, it's a short trek there up the highway. Hope the weather's still good and chance to watch some the best of the best in Junior A players in Western Canada.
Yeah, you know what? I like that, and we kind of dig there a bit on the commish putting this together, but that is something that the league needed, right? And it's just more eyeballs and more exposure and everything. The only thing that surprises me is the commish didn't put it in October, where there's still a chance for him to swing the wrenches at the golf course there in Warman, because he's always sending pictures of him golfing. When we look, Benny, this week, if there was a game that was worth the drive, speaking of Saudi Mainline Motors, which one would be yours?
I think it is a couple of games. I think Friday night in Melfort, Melville is taking on Melfort. Battle of 4-0 teams doing battle. They've always played each other tough. Then they play on Saturday down in Melville. So it's a home and home series this weekend between these two hockey clubs. So after the weekend, maybe a team's 4-1, maybe a team is 6-0. After the weekend. So I think that would be the matchup I would team. And if you want to check out a couple of games, make the trek to the Northern Lights Palace in Melfort or the CN Community Center in Melville to check out those games. So I think those would be the worth the drive. I know the weather's going to be a little bit nicer to drive, so definitely make the trek out to Melville and Melfort. Should be great matchups. Of course, Doug Johnson used to be the head coach and general manager at Nipawin, so him and Trevor Blevins got a rivalry there with the Melfort Nipawin rivalry. So that would be the one I'd probably circle on my calendar.
Awesome, yeah. And always take your swim trunks if you're going to Melfort, because the swimming pool's right attached to the rink there, so it's beauty. All right, Benny, good job. Have a good week. Good calls this week, and then we're going to do this all again next week.
Absolutely, Barney. Appreciate it. Welcome back from south of the border, and enjoy it.
Yeah, that is the SJHL report for our friends at Saudi Mainline Motors, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Worth the drive every time out to Saudi, Saskatchewan. Yes, here we go. Look at this, Curtis working quick on the ball. These are the CJHL top 10. So if you go to sportscage.com, you see Benny's SJHL top 10. But this is the entire country, all the Junior A leagues that are still involved in Hockey Canada. Melfort Mustangs, Trevor Blevins' boys, sitting at 6. But I love that Melville's right there and Yorkton's right
at
there.
3, yeah.
Yeah. Grand Prairie. I didn't even know they were still in the league. Interesting. Hey, speaking of hockey this evening, speaking of worth the drive every time Saudi Mainline Motors, you don't have to drive very far tonight. 2-0 teams going at it, 7 p.m. at the Cooperator Center. Bring your own beer night, I heard. Pat Seas and Estevan.
Estevan Bruins.
Midget AAA hockey, or U18 AAA hockey. A chance to see Maddox Schultz play. Estevan's got a couple of real weapons, too. Oh, I can't remember their names. But that game, 7 p.m. at the Cooperators here in Estevan, if you want to watch some hockey tonight. SJHL. Speaking of that, I should have mentioned this, but whatever. Wilcox tonight. Flin Flon is in town.
Made the trip.
Flin Flon's doing that because you probably see their bus parked somewhere in Regina here for the next few days. That's because they just come and they hub out of Regina, just like a lot of teams hub out of Saskatoon. Just makes sense. So that's a 7:30 puck drop in Wilcox, Saskatchewan. I don't think it's Bring Your Own Beer night there on campus at Wilcox, so I don't want to get in trouble. WHL tonight, I think the Saskatoon Blades are traveling into Alberta. Other than that, nothing locally here. Again, the Regina Pats back at home Saturday, 6 p.m. against the Edmonton Oil Kings. If it's right here, it's not right here. It's on our sister dealio, CKRM2, because the Rider game and the post-game show will all be on there. So CKRM2, Dante DeCaria will have the play-by-play at 6 o'clock. Pre-game show starts at 5:30. I don't know. It's time for a break. That's what it is. Curtis. Oh, I want to give a shout out. Marilyn Hilt called in. She didn't want to go on the radio. Marilyn, shout out to you. Thanks for listening. You're in for Pick the Score as well. Yeah, Pick the Score, 936-6262. What is the score in Edmonton this Saturday? and then weekend's game.
18-15 is already taken.
18-15 is taken by Darren, so don't take that. And Colson took like 64-2 or something. He thinks there would be a safety in there at some
46-3.
46-3.
3 rouges. Not even a field goal.
A safety and a rouge. What would the odds be gambling on that if there was some sort of prop bet?
Oh, yeah.
How does a team score all their points? A safety and a rouge.
Wasn't there a game like that a few years back where it was
Please
they
say
scored,
there wasn't.
I think it was an NFL game, but they scored every way you can score except an offensive touchdown. They had a defensive, they had a field goal, they had a safety.
That does ring a bell.
I think there was that. But anywho.
That does.
You would have loved that line probably.
If before you want to take in your pick, and you're wondering what are the odds makers, have the over-under at 50.5. So Darren is way below it. What did I pick? Sorry, I forgot.
This is why we write stuff down.
In your notebook.
Barney, 33-17. That'll put you at 50 on the dot.
Oh. Watch, this always happens to me.
Where'd you get that over-under from? Your own book or what?
My notebook. My guy on the street. Speaking of, Darian Durant is going to join us in hour 3 coming up. Darian, of course, I'm going to ask him about he says there's a bookie in his hometown. Like still, guy on the street, bookie guy. I'm like, does he have CFL odds? I'd like to just go up to him one day. Hey, Darian sent me, what do you got a CFL game this weekend?
That's right.
CFL?
Make your own line.
Yeah. It's All New Sportscage. Thanks if you're watching the stream, sportscage.com. And we are on the radio, 620 CKRM.
Sometimes there's a song you just gotta hear. And every Sunday morning from 10 till noon, we give you the chance to play your favorites with the Sunday Morning Request and Dedication program. 2 hours set aside to play what you want.
Hey, Cindy, what can I play for you today?
Forever and Ever Amen by Randy Travis.
Good morning, Ray. Could you play Coal Miner's Daughter for me?
I wonder if I could request Eagle When She Flies by Dolly Parton.
Sure could.
It's all brought to you by Matt's Furniture. Online at mattsfurniture.ca. True Fit Denture Clinic. No one should know you wear dentures, not even you. The Sunday Morning Request and Dedication program with Ray Allen from country's greatest hits, 620 CKRM.
Pizza! Where's it from?
Kids, it's not delivery, it's...
No, it's definitely delivery. It's from Western Pizza. Mama's had a long day, so she ordered online, poured a glass of Happy, put her feet up, and waited for the doorbell. There's also Caesar salad, lasagna, chicken wings. Oh, I got lots, so we can have the leftovers tomorrow and the next day. Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste, big on convenience. Get it delivered today.
Hey Rider Nation, this is Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Listen to this. How does a 50-50 payday sound? Sounds like a win to me. Huddle up to riders5050.ca and you can purchase 50-50 tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can even score quickly with the early bird prize. This week it's a road trip to Edmonton to see the Oilers. And you'll be in for the massive weekly jackpots. Buy now at riders5050.ca and support amateur football in Saskatchewan. Sponsored by ISC. License LR 2426.
Step right up to the greatest auto sale at Capital Ford Lincoln. See the amazing weekly Ringmaster specials. Find a better deal on any new Ford and we'll give you $1,000 in cold hard cash. Introducing Cash for Clunkers, guaranteeing a minimum $3,000 for your trade. Bring the whole family down for food, games, and your chance to win thousands in amazing prizes. Hurry, hurry, hurry to the greatest auto sale at Capital Ford Lincoln.
Hi, this is Stephen Art from the Tire Stewardship of Saskatchewan. We're the ones responsible for recycling your tires. We're a non-profit corporation that was established to serve as the scrap tire recycling program operator in Saskatchewan, approved by the Ministry of the Environment. We're responsible to all stakeholders, including consumers who pay the tire environmental fee, the collectors, the Ministry of the Environment, and the people of Saskatchewan. Visit tssk.ca to see how you can recycle your tires.
Riley Green, live.
Doing things a little different, right?
The Damn Country Music Tour.
Damn country music.
March 30th, Brant Center.
Damn country music.
With Ella Langley.
You look like you.
Jake Worthington and Eric Dillon. On sale now at livenation.com.
I wish grandpa's never died.
Don't miss Riley Green.
The all-new Sports Cage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Let's go to check out what's Capital Ford Lincoln text line. Pick the score. Everybody is way higher than Darren. Yeah, way higher. I wanted to mention, too, somebody sent in hanging out. Who is this? Roscoe. Oh, talk about jealous. Did you see this picture that Roscoe texted in? Still watching, hanging out at my brother-in-law's in Kelowna. And it's a beautiful patio right at the edge of the lake, the mountains in the background. How jealous. See? That's what you guys... That's
what we're saving up for?
That's what you're saving
Summer
up
house.
for. That patio furniture. That's what I can afford. There. Like that house, I bet you is... we're talking schmills.
Yeah, I'm a big Kelowna guy. I lived there for 2 years, actually, but not a super nice place. Rented a singular bedroom there. Very nice.
There you go, ladies. He's also lived in Kelowna in a singular bedroom. That is our man, Curtis. It is the all-new Sports Cage. If you're watching the stream, thanks so much at sportscage.com and now X as well. Hit the subscribe button there. Take a break. We got news coming up. After the break and news, Darian Durant. Double talk with Darian on a Wednesday this week. It's the all-new Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
Good afternoon. It's mostly cloudy and it's 10 degrees in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound in Fort Capel. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. Saskatchewan's incumbent premier says his government would expand rebates to post-secondary students who study close to home. Scott Moe of the Saskatchewan Party is looking for a second term as premier when voters go to the polls on October 28th. He says the graduate retention program has succeeded in keeping tens of thousands of people living in Saskatchewan.
The NDP have said that they would cancel the graduate retention program. The NDP had said that the graduate retention program is not that effective. We'll tell that to over 85,000 students who today have benefited or are benefiting from that program.
Moe says he would also introduce a rebate of $5,000 to cover the cost of Class 1 truck driver training. Saskatchewan New Democrats say Scott Moe's Saskatchewan Party can't be trusted to reduce taxes. NDP candidate Trent Witherspoon says Moe hiked 31 taxes and fees while premier in a single year, making life more unaffordable for Saskatchewan's residents. He says Moe's recent announcement that a re-elected Saskatchewan Party government would provide personal income tax relief is nonsense. He says the Saskatchewan Party promised to cut taxes during the 2016 election campaign, but raise them after it was elected again. Saskatchewan's Buffalo Party is promising to create a Ministry of Seniors and Veterans Affairs if they are elected to form a government. Buffalo Party leader Philip Zajac says a new ministry would bring back the Saskatchewan Transit Company.
It'll be run in a business-like model to ensure that people can get to their doctor's appointments and can travel the province.
The STC was shut down by the Sask Party government in 2017, which, combined with the demise of Greyhound, meant that there were fewer options for people to get around Saskatchewan. More than 1,800 postcards were delivered to Scott Moe's office at the provincial legislature by members of QP Local 5430. The postcards are from workers and the public, talking about the crisis in healthcare with staffing, workload and pay that has not kept up with the increase to the cost of living. QP 5430 President Bashir Jallow says the postcards and a petition to have a clear message.
The message is very clear to our members. It is unacceptable for healthcare workers to not be able to survive with the current crisis in healthcare, with the rising inflation, the cost of living.
Jallow says health workers are struggling and some have already left the profession to find better paying jobs. And the Regina Pats Hockey Club has announced a multi-year partnership with George Gordon Developments Limited, focusing on celebrating Indigenous culture in the Treaty 4 territory. As part of this collaboration, the Pats will host their annual Indigenous Celebration Night on February 7th, featuring special edition jerseys inspired by Indigenous designs. George Gordon Developments Limited will provide tickets for George Gordon First Nation members to attend. The jerseys will be auctioned off after the game, with all the net proceeds benefiting the North Central Community Centre. Over 3 years, this event has raised over $21,650 for Indigenous charities. That's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when... Uh-oh.
There are some things that can get spoiled. A sunny day, maybe.
Aw, and no umbrella or anything.
And then there's Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer, where they have all the top-of-the-line smartphones with all the latest features. With such a wide selection and so many great plans, nothing can spoil it.
Yay, rain!
Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel. EchoSound.ca.
Winter brings tougher driving weather, and that means it's time to winter up those tires on your vehicle. Regina Motor Products has got an offer that will make your ride safer and your wallet happier. Before you hit the snowy open road, get your tires swapped for winter, with rebates as high as $120 off a full set of winter tires. You don't want to wait. Book now and be ready for all that cold stuff. Visit rmpchevrolet.com.
I'm Corey Atkinson with your 620 CKRM Precision Weather, brought to you by Line-X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and for Croft Electric. 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all electrical needs. CroftElectric.com and all socials. Now here's Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Partly cloudy sky overnight, still rather breezy though. The wind sustained 25 to as much as 40 kilometers per hour. Winds could be gusting at times close to 50. So a cool night, made even cooler as temperatures get down to near zero, which is right where we should be this time of year. But it certainly feels colder than that in the morning hours. The wind continuing to blow out of the northwest, 25 to 40 through the day tomorrow. Temperature making it up to around 12 during the afternoon, partly to even mostly sunny at times. Clear sky, the wind backs off a little bit for Thursday night, and with that, temperatures back off a little bit too, getting down to around -3 for the low. And for Friday, a very nice recovery. Wind shifts into the southeast, likely diminishes first, then picks up through the day. 19 is our high. And while Saturday is a slightly cooler day at 15 and with a few spotty showers, you take that out and it's a nice uptrend back through the teens and low 20s into the new week. Sunday mostly sunny, 18 will be at 20 or better under a mostly sunny sky on Monday. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Across the province at this hour, Saskatoon is 9, Swift Current and Assiniboia are both 12, Yorkton, Melville 10, Moosomin, Broadview 11, Estevan 15, and Weyburn is 12. At this hour in Moose Jaw, there's a light rain shower. Winds are from the northwest at 30, gusting to 48, and it's 9 degrees. Regina is mostly cloudy. Winds are from the northwest at 35, and it's 10 degrees. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
Croft Electric. You've probably heard of us because we've been around for over 27 years. We do commercial and residential work? Yes. We do permanent holiday lighting? Yes. We do cabins? Yes. And farms? Yes and yes. We're an authorized Generac generator dealer. We are a full-service electrical company with the experience and the people to service all of your electrical needs. We are Croft Electric. We will be here when you need us. Do it right, do it once. Follow us on all social and call 306-586-1333 to book.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by the Saskatchewan Roughriders Foundation 50/50. Visit www.riders5050.ca to purchase your tickets for this week's game. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Oh, so much to get. If you haven't tuned in the last 2 hours, you've missed a lot of good laughs. I started with Scott Schultz in hour one, having us busting a gut, telling us an all-timer here on the Sportscage. It's Barney Shinkerick, Darren Anderson, Curtis and Colson have things going. You can get it all in podcast form later if you're watching on the stream. Thanks so much. Sportscage.com and on X. Baseball fans, we haven't forgot about you. Right now, in the bottom of the 7th inning, Kansas City leads Baltimore. if you ever been there, that's how they say it, Baltimore.
Never.
2-1. Earlier today, Detroit completed the sweep of Houston, 5-2. They're on to the next round. We got the Mets, Game 2 against Milwaukee this evening, and then Atlanta-San Diego is the late one. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm probably going to sprinkle on that game just because it's on late. There's nothing else on.
Not a big baseball guy either. I have some buddies, but like, doesn't everyone just get happy when the Astros lose? Is that going to just be a thing now? I think it's a thing.
Going to a baseball game, it's like, hey, we'll go and have a hot dog and a beer, and like Petco Park in San Diego, there's some beautiful places, right? Yeah, no, it's we're gonna stay for the full game.
It was just in Wrigley last weekend.
Like that's different.
Yeah,
been to Fenway, went to games 1 and 2 of the 13 World Series at Fenway Park. If you are a baseball fan and you've never gone to a playoff baseball game, you have to. Like the intensity of everything, especially the World Series, every pass ball, every foul ball going into it was next level. And I'm like, this I love. I like it. It's like watching a big fastball game. I love it. Can do it. It is. Go watch like a provincial or a national final or a Olympic game when there was in the Olympics. So yeah, there's your baseball fix today. Baseball talk brought to you by I don't know. Curtis likes baseball. Ladies, Curtis likes baseball. Let's go.
The all-new Sports Cage presents Double Talk with Darian Durant. Brought to you by Wolf Industries, your truck repair specialist in Grenfell. Servicing all sizes of trucks, SGI accredited. And Prairie Land Rentals. Whether it's for the farm or the backyard, Prairie Land Rentals can help with all sizes of jobs.
Yeah, Double Talk. It was kind of a weird week. A lot of things going on. So he's joining us on Wednesday here, and he's on his telephone. Darian, first off, I got to ask. When we were on a month or so ago, and you talked about, I think it was back in your hometown, there's like an actual bookie still, like a guy that you can go and like place bets with. Would he have action? Like, is that guy still around? Would he have action on the Major League Baseball games then today?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything from baseball to hockey, basketball, you name it. European, the Euro League, basketball overseas, everything, man. You name it, he has it.
CFL?
Absolutely.
Oh, right. Wow. Oh, I get it. This might be a Sports Cage documentary that we go. We film it and we go. Where would we have to go? What city would we have to go to?
Oh, man. Let's go somewhere down south where football is big. Honestly, there are a couple bars in my hometown and some places in Florida as well where they'll play CFL games if you request it. So CFL is growing a lot, and it's been on U.S. television a lot the past couple years.
I just want to go and place a bet with a bookie like that. That's all. That's now on my bucket list. My wife's going to be like, "Oh, great, here we go again. We just crossed Tuscaloosa. Just crossed Tuscaloosa off the bucket list. Now we're adding going to a bookie, and I want to go and place a bet and then pretend like I don't have enough cash.
Oh no, don't do that now.
Let's see what happens. Okay, Riders. You know what? And then a lot of people were talking. It wasn't the prettiest game. It wasn't a Picasso or anything like that. But who cares? Mm-hmm. At this point, end of the year, a team that's kind of had a little bit of a rough go, and now your second win in a row, doubles. Like, what does it matter?
Yeah, it's not about how you win. It's about getting the W. That's the most important thing. And, there are plenty of bright spots in that game, plenty of good things that you can take away from it. I mean, the offense moved the ball. The defense played an exceptional game, making sure Masoli turned the ball over. So there's some bright spots there, and it doesn't matter how you get it done as long as you get it done and you get that W in the win column.
What were the bright spots for you, your eyeballs?
Well, first and foremost, the defense. I think the defense played exceptionally well. When you're dealing with a veteran quarterback like Masoli, who's been in these situations and in this type of environment, to force him to look uncomfortable. He made a ton of mistakes early. Coach Mace did a great job of mixing coverages with the blitz and backing off and knowing exactly what to do against him. So when you can have a veteran quarterback on his heels and not knowing what to expect, that's an amazing thing at this point in the season. And, even though the offense didn't score, touchdowns, I think that whenever you move the ball and you can get the ball in scoring position and, you put points on the board, that's a bright spot as well. So, I think they'll get back in the film room and correct some things offensively and figure out what they need to do to put the ball in the end zone. But, whenever you can move the ball and you're playing against pretty much a Eastern playoff team, so these games are all playoff-type environments against playoff potential opponents, whenever you can get the win, you'll take it.
Yeah, Darian, we've talked today a little bit about the offense struggling to find an identity and maybe the positives of that when you're trying to game plan against it. But for you, and I don't remember any year when you were here having that struggle, but what would you be doing in the locker room to kind of build that identity going into the playoffs here now that we're only 3 weeks out?
Well, I mean, the tough thing about it is whenever you have so many guys in and out of the lineup, it's hard to, build that type of identity you would like to. The injuries have just plagued this team since the beginning of the season, and it's hard to build that chemistry. Guys aren't playing together to form an identity. So the main thing is you're in a playoff spot right now. You have a chance for a home playoff game. These are pretty much the guys and the lineups that you're going to go into the postseason with. So you want to build as much as you can with the guys you have. It's tough, like I've been mentioning, weather and this part of the season where it's getting cold and it's going to be windy, and Trevor may not be able to go out and attempt, 35, 40 passes, and you need to get that run game going. So with Armstead being injured, we're going to see if we can establish the run and be able to carry that momentum going into the playoffs.
We talked about this earlier, and when Scott Schultz was on, and then DA and I talked about it, like even coaching at a youth level or coaching flag, or you can always key on the Randy Moss, take it away, and I think Schultz said they'd key on Joffrey Reynolds.
Yeah.
With Calgary. Like with this Rider team, part of it's because of injury, where it's like, okay, now who is Thomas the Train? Like Frankie Hickson, all Ratkovich is in at one point, and then all the receivers, how they spread the ball around. This team would be somewhat hard to game plan against right now, Doubles.
For sure. And that's a bright spot of the offense, if you want to label it that there's no one to key in on. But at the same time, you as a quarterback and as an offense, you want to have that guy or two that you can lean on in tight spots and tough situations who can make a big play for you or make a big run for you. So, it could go both ways. But definitely from a game planning standpoint, you can't really key on who's the guy or who's going to be targeted in certain situations because they've spread the ball out so well, and running backs have been in and out of the lineup. You just don't know who to key in on.
Yeah, Doubles, and sort of we were talking about bright spots of the game. Like the last 2 weeks, I've been impressed with the O-line. And I think, by the time the fourth quarter rolled around against Ottawa, they were just grading that defensive line and pushing them back and really got the run game going there when they needed it. Do you see that coming, like with your eyes? Is that O-line looking like they're gelling? Obviously, again, ton of injuries this year, 3 Americans playing there, but is that obviously the importance of that running into the playoffs would be key?
For sure. I definitely love the way the offensive line has been holding up, especially with all the injuries. And you have to give the defense a lot of credit. Whenever the defense can force 2 and outs, can get the ball back, and the offense can run a ton of plays, the opposing defense is going to get tired. You're going to be able to wear them down and be able to run the ball at will. So you like what the defense is doing. If the defense can continue to get stops, can force turnovers, and allow the offense to just grind out games, then, when I've spoken on this before, when you can't just key in on him and the offense is balanced, that's when the offense is at its best. So the defense plays a major role in helping the offensive line and the offense not be so predictable, because when you get leads and you get 2 and outs, now you just can wear down the opposing defense, and that's what seems like this offensive line has been doing in the past couple of weeks.
Do you remember? Can you go back and remember a game where, you were you're marching the ball and moving the ball and all that, and then it's like, oh, we got to settle for a field goal. Okay, we got to settle for a field goal. Because I was thinking, you know what though, but at least we're getting points, and at least we're settling for field goals. Yeah, we want the touchdowns there, but I said it earlier as well. Like, good teams will win those games when things don't go that way. Bad teams will find a way to lose a game like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can't really pinpoint a time where we settle for a lot of field goals, because I was blessed with guys like Corey Sheets and Wes Cates and running backs who could, just ground and pound and be able to finish when you get close or you need it. Whenever you can run the ball and it's 2nd and 3, you don't have to throw. You have a back that can fall forward for a couple yards or either put you in a 3rd and 1 situation. That's a weapon that you need offensively. So I can't really recall these situations because I've always been surrounded by guys who, tend to fall forward a lot at the running back position and put you in those situations where you can score. So, but like I said, each year, each game, different things can happen, and I wouldn't be so worried about the field goals at this moment. I think all that matters is that you're moving the ball, you're getting in scoring range, and Lawther's making the kicks. That's all that matters right now. I wouldn't call it a problem as of yet because you're winning. So we'll see how it goes, moving forward.
So, Doubles, as a leader in the locker room, when you get to this time of year, what were some of the techniques or things you used to kind of get the guys focused on, just like you said, all that really matters now is winning. We're not building for later. It's now. How do you get guys focused on that ultimate goal?
I think, first and foremost, we had a very veteran-led locker room for the most part. Guys who have been together for a long time, played together for years. And whenever you have that, that helps. But I think one of the main messages going forward needs to be job security. When you win, your chances of having the team together or keeping your job, it's a lot higher. And, whenever you lose and you have bad seasons and you don't make the playoffs, then there's so much change in the locker room. So I think, guys need to, just talk to each other and say, look, if we want to continue to gel together as a team, not just this year, but moving forward, we have to win, and we have to show this organization and the higher ups that we deserve a contract extension. We deserve to be here moving forward. So I think when you just let guys know that winning is the most important thing for your job security, for your family, for your livelihood, then guys have cut out a lot of the dumb penalties and things like that can get you beat.
You talked about it, I think, a couple of weeks, and then you talked about it again today and how now in the CFL, right, the weather, you never know what you're going to get. Although it looks like it's going to be nice in Edmonton on Saturday, things could change, and then it starts to get colder and all that. When you were playing doubles, did you start doing anything differently as far as preparing? Maybe it's how you threw the ball like quicker or anything like that when you knew that the colder weather was coming?
Well, one thing we would do as a team is we would practice a little bit earlier. We would say, instead of going out at 11 when it gets a little warmer, let's maybe go out at 9, 10 o'clock early so we can, feel some of the chills that come with the wind and the weather changing. So that was one of our biggest things, that we need to get out here and practice in this weather and prepare for it because, it's going to come, and when it changes fast. So I think it's hard to prepare mentally. You have to be in it. You have to experience it. You have to be out there and practicing. And, you can't go out to practice and wear 3, 4, 5 layers of clothing as well. You have to put on the same gear that you're going to play with in the game and not try to, overcompensate for the weather, because in the game you can't have a big hoodie on, or you can't have on, sweatpants or whatever it is you may have on in practice. So you have to treat each practice like it's a game.
That's really, really interesting. Okay, I got to ask you some NFL stuff here. Down there, your brother had ties to the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe is there any chance Davante Adams ends up with those Cowboys just to totally make it a circus down there? Or where do you think Davante Adams is going to end up?
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm hearing that the Jets and Aaron Rodgers reunion may happen. You just never know. It depends on the GM and if he's going to do right by Davante Adams or if he wants to send him to a dumpster fire somewhere. It just really depends, man. You never know in these situations. And hopefully he kept his nose clean. He didn't, burn his bridges there in Vegas. And, he has a GM that'll treat him right and put him in a good situation. But as far as Dallas, I'm not sure that receiver's the problem. I think that the run game is the problem in the defense. Bringing Zeke back was, is kind of a questionable move. I know it's more of a sentimental thing for Jerry Jones to bring him back, but they need a young running back that can, provide that offense with a spark because I feel like Dak is throwing the ball way too much.
Who in the NFL when you're watching and who in the NFL aren't we talking about that we could be talking about come like December, January, do you feel?
Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings. I think that, usually when you're a top 5 pick, you're going to go to a bad team, a team that has so many holes to fill. There's always coaching turnover. And I think that's what happened with Sam Darnold coming out. I thought he was one of the best quarterbacks to come out. But whenever you go to the Jets, back then especially, you're going to be in a bad situation. And I think for him to go to San Francisco and learn and to go through what he went through in Carolina, he has the experience now. And, now he's with Justin Jefferson and Addison and Aaron Jones and just the weapons around him. And you put that with good coaching, so the Vikings are going to be a tough team to beat in that division. So I think that, they should be talked about more, and you're going to hear a lot from this team as the season progresses.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, and interesting doubles to see that in the NFL this year, the teams that have sort of made these massive contracts to quarterbacks seem to be struggling. And it's is that a factor of the players you just named that Minnesota has? How can you have all of those players and pay a quarterback like Dak $60 million? It's
impossible. You can't do it. And I think that I can't say that a guy shouldn't want to get paid because every year when you see the TV deals and you see the money that these teams are making and that these owners are making, the guys are going to want to get paid too. But, you have to make sure that the team around you is good. And I learned that the hard way as I was leaving Saskatchewan, that sometimes it's not about the money, it's about the situation. And, when you're talking about these younger guys, you may not think that way. But, Minnesota's a perfect example of when you can pay, some of these key guys, especially, a receiver that's one of the best in the league, and you add these pieces around them and you're not paying a quarterback, top dollar, and you have a solid quarterback, you can build a good team, and I think you're seeing that.
Okay, I got to leave you on this, and I don't know if you ever played there, maybe, probably, but Saturday night, I was fortunate enough to be at that Alabama-Georgia game, and I got to tell you, if you're a football fan out there and you want to go experience something, mind you, that's an all-time classic game. But doubles, TCU I thought was pretty cool. I've been to Berkeley, pretty cool. Just some other ones. That Tuscaloosa, I am glad I checked that off the bucket list. That's wild stuff down there, doubles.
Man, I can only imagine. I've never been there personally, but I've been to Athens, and when I was being recruited by Georgia, and I'm sure that those atmospheres are very similar. But man, SEC football is just. The atmospheres, and not just there, but LSU, South Carolina, Georgia, it's Florida. It's just so many huge stadiums with just rabid fans that just make these environments amazing. And then when you put two of these powerhouse teams, on the field and you get a classic game like that, I can imagine just the ups and the downs and the excitement that was going through that stadium. So I know you had a blast, and I'm glad you got a chance to experience that SEC atmosphere because it's amazing.
It's the buddy that I went with now. He goes, well, October 19th, Alabama's playing Tennessee. We should go.
I forgot about Tennessee. And Tennessee holds 110,000. So,
Good old Rocky Top. Yeah, that's a bucket list.
Cool. Okay, let's see how the Riders, if they get it done in Edmonton, and then doubles, we'll catch up on Monday.
Okay, sounds good, guys.
Thanks, Doubles.
Double talk with Darian Durant. Always, I wasn't sure. Like, it's just had SEC football, and I didn't get it. I was like, whatever. Double talk with Darian. It's brought to you by Wolf Industries, truck repair specialists in Grenfell, servicing all sizes of trucks and SGI accredited, and then Prairieland Rentals right here in Regina. You'll deal with the owner, whether it's the job you need for the farm, the backyard, whatever. They can get it done. It's winter time's coming up too. Husqvarna's snowblowers there at Prairieland. I know that's coming down. Alabama, Tennessee, because Alabama's ranked 1 now.
Yeah, in both polls, right? There's the AP poll and the coaches poll. But yeah, it's I don't want to get lots into college football, but everyone's talking, a 12 team, it'll make these games. Georgia, Alabama won't even mean anything. Are you kidding me? Like, don't even go there. Like, it's next level. Yeah. It was it's going to be the best football game of the year, most likely.
Yeah, there were so many people that aren't even like college football fans, but if you just like the game, it's like watching if people that aren't CFL fans from down south, and then they watch a game and they're like, wow, is that exciting? Like, you watch a high sky. I can go watch who's playing the, hold on, I'll grab this if you're watching the stream, sorry. I can go watch Lumsden Maple Creek Friday, and that could be an absolute awesome football game. It's like the game was so good.
Yeah.
That's why I don't ever want to go back there, because now I saw like an absolute classic, right? It's like, man, but if you're a football fan and you like to travel and cross things off a bucket list, like you went to the Big House, didn't you?
Big House last year twice, 2 games and the Rose Bowl.
Like, that's
Big Mish fan.
Epic.
It was awesome. Yeah, unreal. And been to Baton Rouge, been to Texas. All of them are an unbelievable experience.
Expensive experience. But it's, like if you're a bucket list guy, you can't take it with you. Wasn't there a country song that we played? It wasn't the Johnner Brothers. There's somebody saying that. Still more to come. We're going to hear more from the Riders and after their practice today. If you're listening, the all-new Sports Cage on 620 CKRM, or now you can watch the stream on YouTube and X. Just go to sportscage.com.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Busy Bee Doors. Busy Bee will repair or replace your residential or commercial garage doors so you don't get stuck in or out. Catch the buzz. Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
It's our Ranch Roundup. I'm Ryan Young from 620 CKRM, and we want to recognize our province's loyal ranchers and thank you for all your hard work. 620 CKRM will be visiting 5 local pastures to deliver Tim Hortons to treat all the hardworking ranchers. Ranch Roundup for Class of America, Heartland Livestock Yorkton, Fraser Tolmie, Member of Parliament Moose Jaw Center Lanigan, 620 CKRM.
Your co-op grow team are your local experts because we live here too. Our agronomic specialists stay up to date with the latest research and technology to help support your entire farm operation. Talk to our team for advice tailored to your farm's needs. We have recommendations to help you optimize your crop yield and quality while enhancing the health of your land. Co-op. We're all growing together. Here for your farm. Here for your family. Learn more at coop.crs/farm.
Hey Rider Nation, this is Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Listen to this. How does a 50-50 payday sound? Sounds like a win to me. Huddle up to riders5050.ca and you can purchase 50-50 tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can even score quickly with the early bird prize. This week it's a road trip to Edmonton to see the Oilers, and you'll be in for the massive weekly jackpots. Buy now at riders5050.ca and support amateur football in Saskatchewan. Sponsored by ISC. License LR 2426.
You say
move,
and your cows say you tell them
your water is right over there,
and they say You can't convince a cow to move to the water, so move the water to the cows with the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System. With the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System, you can put your pump pretty much anywhere without the cost of hooking up to the grid. Learn more about the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System at kelnsolar.com. Keln Solar, we move water.
Sask Lotteries has 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Help us grow the next 50. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
Local communities are at the heart of what we do. Last year, more than 200,000 Saskatchewan people reached out for help through United Way's 211 service. When our friends and neighbors struggle, communities struggle. With your support, we can answer the call and connect to hope and help. Each of us have the ability to be there for our neighbors. Show your local love by donating today.
Visit UnitedWayRegina.ca and change lives today. Change begins with support.
The all-new Sportscage continues. You can watch our live stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio. Saskatchewan's voice for local sports, 620 CKRM.
It's D.A., Colson, Curtis, and Shank here back with you on the Sports Cage. It's so fun to think back to Scott Schultz's segment. That's still an hour one, his story. So funny. So much going on tonight. If you want to watch some hockey locally in the Regina area, don't forget Cooperator Center, 7 p.m. Regina Pat Canadians 2-0 against the Estevan Bears. I know there's a sponsor there I'm missing. Sorry, Bears. But they're 2-0 as well. You go watch that. Puck drops at 7 p.m. Down in Wilcox, SJHL action. We have Notre Dame hosting the Flin Flon Bombers. So there. And get us your high school game of the week. Like, what should we be talking about on Friday?
It's got to be some big games. It's the end of the year.
I know that there's been a couple of emails, but I want to see more. And then there's a couple from the same teams, which I love. But get behind this. I want to promote. What is the game on Friday that we should be talking about? Friday Night Lights for Regina Motor Products. They have the $20 off your tire changeover, which hopefully we don't need for a couple more weeks. But you never know. Golf courses are closing. Like ours is closing, what, October 16th?
Yeah, I think the Waz is as well. And then the Muni courses before that. I don't remember the exact
Really?
date.
I thought the Munis usually push it.
No,
City
that's
workers.
just what I heard from our GM. Anyways, but I didn't. They could be.
We might have to call Brian Raymond too. Maybe on Friday or next week. Ask him what it's looking like out there. How long they're going to push it. And Johnny Greeno out in Deer Valley. Yeah, I haven't been able to play much in the last 3 weeks. I've been at hockey rinks like just all the time. It's sad that the golf season's almost over. Hopefully, a lot of the farmers out there, crops all in. If you're still out there grinding, let us know. 936-6262. We have Pick the Score tickets to give away. Do we have extra tickets? Do we confirm that? I think we do. We got 2 extra tickets for sure. So here's the question for the 2 extra. You can play Pick the Score. And here's for 2 extras. This is for the game, obviously, October 12th against the Lions. What was the old trickaroo that Scott Schultz talked about? So this will benefit people that have been tuning in for the whole 3 hours. And then if you haven't, then you got to go back and listen to the podcast. He said, didn't he call it the old trickaroo?
Yeah.
And then you'll get it. And then send that in. I bet you we won't get many because it's tough. It's a 3-hour show. It's hard to listen to the whole thing. Speaking of the Riders, practice field today. Speaking of the Rider injury situation, it looks like Jareth Stearns could be back. Dave Thomas caught up to him today.
Jareth, looks like you're going to get an opportunity to get back into the lineup. What does that mean to you?
Well, first, I just want to send my prayers to Bane and just wish him a speedy recovery. And that's my guy. He's been a mentor for me since I've been here. But hopefully it's just a good opportunity for me and just showcase what I can do again. And the biggest importance is to go 1-0 this week.
Now, you have sat out the last 5 games. How tough has it been being out of the lineup?
I mean, obviously it's tough. No guy wants to be sat. But, I mean, like we've been saying all year, we got the deepest receiving room in the league, and I think we've shown that. Like, no matter who was in there, was making plays. So I'm just excited to be back, hopefully.
Over that span, has it been hard to stay ready?
I think that was just my thought process through the whole thing. Just, just stay in shape, stay in tune with the playbook, don't fall behind on anything, and I did a good job of doing that.
Now, this seems like such a tight-knit team. Have you looked to some of your teammates to remain positive?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, Sean Bain did a good job, just staying in my ear, just telling me, because he went through a similar process when he first came in the CFL, so he was just telling me, just stay ready. Like, you never know when your number's going to be called. And, having a guy like Trevor just telling me, like, he believes in me, and when I get the opportunity, he knows I'll be ready.
Jareth, which would you believe is tougher, mentally or physically, in attempting to stay sharp?
Probably the mental aspect, because we're out here running every day. I'm still getting my lifts in and everything, and doing the scout team and everything like that. You're ready physically, but mentally, getting taken out the lineup, it can be easy to check out. But I did a good job not doing that.
That said, then, is it tough staying mentally engaged and maybe not checking out when you had an opportunity to do so, being out of the lineup for as long as you've been?
Yeah, obviously, it's frustrating, but just you can't check out. You never know. It's football. Like, guys go down all the time. Like, it's the unfortunate part of this game, so you got to stay ready mentally.
There's, guys go out all the time, for sure, but for the Riders, it's a little bit crazy this year. Earlier we were talking about, I'm looking at the 6-game injured list from last week, and it's just totally forgot about some of these guys. Dante Myers was the one that jumps out. Like, man, he was so good, and it feels like that was last year, but it wasn't. It was like a month ago.
Yeah, I don't think Stearns needed the stories from other years from Bain. Look at what's gone on this year with the Rider receivers, and just go, that eventually your number's going to get called.
Yeah, gutted for some of these guys. Hardrick, Jamarcus, just so much hype around him coming in, and helping out. Nick Weeb, gutted for that kid.
Oh,
excited, and then finally gets in, and it doesn't work out. Okay, so if we got one person already that was listening back in the day. We got 2. They're coming in hot and heavy now. Oh, if we don't have extra tickets, I'm gonna have to go buy. I'll go buy them myself. But I'm pretty sure we do. So if you were listening earlier when we had Farhan Lalji on, we asked him what is going on in BC Place with balls hitting the scoreboard. If you don't know what we're talking about, if you're watching the stream, you're going to see the video. If you're watching the radio, you'll hear it. Here it is. The referees.
BC puts any points on the board. That hits the scoreboard. It comes bouncing down at the 35. Flintoff hammered that right into the Jumbotron here at BC Place.
The kick hit the scoreboard, which is pretty odd. We're going to redo everything. We'll redo the play. We'll reset the clock to 2:44 with a new 20-second clock. It's just a redo.
Flintoff set to kick it away again. Janarian Grant, who almost had a house call last time out. That hits the scoreboard. Will Ben Major give us that call he had a few weeks back?
What has he got? What has he got here?
Here we go.
The kick hit the scoreboard again. It's third down.
There's not much more I can say than Ben has said. Yada, yada, yada. We're going to redo the play.
So if you're following along, that was the third one, and it was Tom Valesi. That's Colson. That was the yada, yada, yada. He yada, yada's over everything. And we're going to do the play again. You know what? I'm giving the clutch performer of the day to Tom Valesi, the referee. Ben Major was good as well, but our clutch performer for just making it enjoyable. So it should be.
Right. Well, and that last one stuck in the scoreboard. So, like we were saying, you go get, I think it's like an elementary school gym here in Regina. Those balls are just up in the rafters. They don't ever come down.
What? Yeah, the old elementary. Remember they had the speakers in like the cage, and then you'd put one in there and be like, they're never getting that out.
Never getting
and
that
then during the break, the janitor was like, if you had a really deadly janitor, he'd go in there and get it out and be like, how the heck did he get that out? Okay, now we got to go again, boys. We got to put it in. Clutch performer, always for Nick Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson Challenger Rogator Gleaner and Fent dealer. Call 781-1077. Nick Service in Emerald Park. I want to see a picture of it stuck in there, though. Like, how is it stuck? Have you seen the picture, Colson?
Yeah, it's up on X. I think the CFL retweeted it, and you don't get a great picture of it, but it looks like it's just sitting on a flat plate, kind of on the top of the scoreboard. So they zoomed in on it during the game and said, "We found the ball. Send help."
They gotta leave it there. That is so cool. And then maybe you could even sprinkle on when does it come down? When does it fall down at some point? But just leave it.
Do we have a rule for multiple balls in play?
It happens in hockey sometimes.
Yeah.
You'll see it at a rink, not usually an NHL rink.
Yeah.
But if you're watching, junior hockey or whatever, and then all of a sudden the puck that was stuck somewhere will come popping out of a net.
Okay, over under now that ball will still be up there for Grey Cup.
No, under. They'll take it down for sure. They'll get that deadly janitor guy. He'll go up. He'll go up and take it down.
Going to rappel down from the BC Place roof. Like, I don't know how you get.
Well, the scoreboard probably is on hydraulics that comes down to
they usually are.
Comes down to the turf. Like when they fix that thing, I don't think they shoot a guy up there.
I'm going over. Someone's got to give me some odds on
No,
this.
they should. It would be awesome if they just kept it.
Some TSN camera guy is going to zoom in on it next home game for BC and be like, is it still there? I don't know if they'll show it live, but some camera guy's going to be like, I need to know.
You should retweet the picture X to the Sportscage so then people can kind of go and see what it looks
Doing
like.
it right now.
No, it's and Ben Major and Tom Valesi, the officials, making it fun. Right? That's what it's all about. You got to make it fun. And you know what? They've had a rough go this year. The refs. It's like, but there's somebody out there going, they shouldn't. It's not fun out there. They should take their job seriously. Yeah, whatever.
It's not a joke.
It kind of has been some of the calls, more the hitting of the quarterbacks. 936-6262, Capital Ford Lincoln text line. Pick the score. Pick the score is what you should be. What you should be getting in. We went low. You went low.
Hammer the under. That's what I guess where I'm going. 18-15 is already taken, and nobody's been close on the old take. That's on the old text line.
Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching on the stream, sportscage.com, or as always on 620 CKRM.
Meet your new favorite shade of green. At Nick Service, we offer the Fendt 500 Vario Series tractor that's tailor-made for your farm. Get better stability, ease of use, and comfort with one tractor. Whether you're feeding, tilling, baling, or hauling, this series is built for your farm. Experience up to 163 horsepower with this multi-purpose tractor. Visit Nick Service in Emerald Park or go to nickservice.com to get a quote on the Fendt 500 Vario Series.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saturday is game day as the Riders take on the Edmonton Elks. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Dunk is at 2 p.m. Pre-game shows at 4, and kickoff with Luke Mullender and I is at 5. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Roughrider Radio Network is brought to you by Bayer Crop Science, Sask Cancer Agency, and McDougall Auctioneers. Stream every minute of Rider football at sportscage.com.
Be prepared for what Mother Nature throws at us because we never know what kind of wild weather is in store. Shorty Generators is authorized and trained to service all the major home standby generators, offering the largest selection of generators in Saskatchewan. Generac, Kohler, Champion, Cummins, and Briggs & Stratton. Now is the time to get your generator serviced and ready for the upcoming storm season. To book your service or to learn more about generator maintenance, visit shortygenerators.ca. The generator experts.
It's been a long day. I don't want to cook. Oh, I'm going to surprise the family with a pizza night. Oh, I'll be a hero. My family might actually pick me up in celebration and carry me around the kitchen, and they'll chant my name, and I'll be celebrated until the end of time when I...
This isn't Western pizza. I thought you loved us.
Don't pizza fail. Get what they want. It's gotta be Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
What type of vehicle should you use for a fall hayride?
I bet you're gonna be punny.
An automobile?
Ugh. Whatever type of vehicle you drive, fuel up at Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
As a member, fueling up means
sharing in the equity.
Buy a car wash or some snacks from the C-store.
It's like putting money in the bank.
You better believe it.
Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
Here for you when you need us. Call or text us. 306-936-6262. Driven by Capital Ford Lincoln, Saskatchewan's #1 Ford retailer. CapitalFordLincoln.com. On 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sports Cage continues. You can watch our live stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio. Saskatchewan's voice for local sports, 620 CKRM.
Who do we got on the Capital Ford Lincoln text line here? Chaz out in Edenwald, tuning in, still out combining, finishing the last few hundred acres. Should be wrapped up by the end of day tomorrow. Wow,
nice.
That sounds impressive. Again, I don't know a lot about farming. I want to drive a combine just briefly, but that sounds so a few hundred acres and done by the end of day tomorrow. Yeah. That sounds intense. Yeah, it's cool. Thanks for texting in. Everyone that's playing along, pick the score as well. And then this one's great. I love it. Shout out to you. No name here, I don't think. I think somebody hosting the show needs to call Gamblers Anonymous. Hey, do it responsibly. It's all responsibly. And is Gamblers Anonymous still a thing? Like, I think it's called something else.
No idea.
And if you're not gambling responsibly, you shouldn't be doing it. Curtis, you going to chime in?
I need my, there we go. I believe it's called Game Sense.
There, use your game sense.
Yeah, use your game sense, boys.
Yes.
Yeah, don't put any units on that you can't afford to lose.
Yeah, like if you think that ball's going to be up at the scoreboard for the Grey Cup, that's probably only a half unit on that. DA's only going a half unit. And his unit is just kind of what he's okay to lose or win.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. It's all in fun. Sports is about gambling nowadays. Kansas City and Baltimore. Is this game done? Postseason 2024 for all you baseball fans. The Royals defeated the Orioles 2-1. KC wins the series 2-0. So they advance to the ALDS for the first time since 2015. I was going to say 19. Yeah. Orioles have lost 10 straight postseason games. Baltimore fans, it's been a rough go for you. Still other baseball to come by tonight. Hardball, as I call it. We have Atlanta, San Diego. Over 6.5 is the over-under on that. I don't know. That's something I will.
No idea.
I'll put just some fun down tonight just because I want to see. I'm going to go. I'm going to take San Diego to wrap that up. In Petco.
I think they're fun. So, I haven't watched a lot of baseball, but they're fun this year.
Mets are up 1-0 on Milwaukee, and then earlier today, Detroit swept Houston, which you're happy about.
Yeah, no one wants Houston to win.
I don't think a lot of people want Houston to win. Hockey tonight in the area, down in Wilcox, SJHL. Shout out, Southie Mainline Motors. Worth the drive every time. Drive down to Wilcox. You can watch the high-flying Flin Flon Bombers take on the Notre Dame Hounds. 7:30 puck drop there at the Cooperator Center. We have the Pat Canadians taking on Estevan. Both teams undefeated. 7 p.m. The puck is dropped at the Cooperators. Still haven't got confirmation if it's bring your own beer night.
These early games in the season, though, super fun for me. I think it's the best hockey. You got new kids, especially at the AAA level, SJ level. You got new kids figuring each other out. Like everyone's excited. The fans are happy to be back in the rink.
Yeah,
you know it's better than that sort of dog day.
The bar's open,
middle of February.
Bar's open at the Cooperator Center finally. I think it just opened like yesterday. Tarps are up. Looks good in there. No, and then the like you said, though, the sketchy thing is if you're on the other side, I know a few parents that had to go through this. Kids playing out of town, registered for school, all that jazz, and then somebody else came back from a higher league. It's all it's kind of a trickle down, right?
Yeah.
It'll go from the NHL. If he's allowed to be sent back to junior, then he goes there. Okay, then junior's got to let this guy go there, and then whether there's an SJ or a junior A component to it, and it trickles down, and it'll trickle down to, let's say, it triples definitely to midget AA in the city or U18 AA, and then it'll trickle down in some of the junior leagues right to junior B.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, SJ kid, no, guy came back, not playing. But yeah, no, it is exciting hockey. And yeah, the Pat Canadians, they're a wagon the last few years. Coach Ryan Hodgins, who's been on the program before, doing a great job there. They're 2-0, but shout out to Estevan, 2-0 as well. So that's 7 p.m. this evening at the Cooperator Center. Love the AAA U18 League. Again, hi at sportscage.com. When's the last time you went to a high school football game?
Ooh, just a few years ago when my kids were in high school. Don't tell them, though. They told me I wasn't allowed to go. It was embarrassing.
Did you sit with them?
No.
It's a big stadium. I'm sure you could find a pocket somewhere else not to sit with them. Coming up, O'Neill, Winston Knoll. That is tomorrow at 5:15. Then Friday we got a couple of games. We have Sheldon Williams and Martin at Libel, and then Johnson and Balfour, 7:30. Tom has the bye this week. Oh, Leboldus, those are at Libel. Leboldus Miller, that could be a good clash.
Yeah,
that's at 5:15. Then the late one at Mosaic is Campbell and Riffle. I know there's a bunch of 6-a-side, 9-a-side games. Hi at sportscage.com. Send it in. We want to give it the hype. What do we have so far in this? I'll maybe just give some love. Somebody did send in. Actually, you know who sent in one? And I'll give it. See, Highway 22 Storm over Ituna last week. I wasn't here. Loved Highway 22. I love Ituna. It's just all about it. It was Benny Walchuk. He said both teams are 2-1. Melville Cobras, my Melville Cobras, coached by Benny Walchuk, and the Esterhazy Warriors. That's 7 p.m. Friday night, 9-a-side.
9-a-side.
Where I think it must be in Melville. Benny, you forgot to tell me where it's at. Both are 2-1. So that's the kind of stuff we need. To hi at sportscage.com. There is one in the SWAC that I know that's a big one. And we'll get to that tomorrow. It was sent in by a certain somebody who might be reffing that football game.
A lot of kids, a lot of boys, grade 12, grade 11 right now, getting ready, geared up. You know, last playoff spots. Come down to the last, potentially last few high school football games.
So much fun. Under the lights, high school football. You remember it forever. Forever and ever, ever and ever and ever. Like, it's just, you do. It is, it's just too bad that nowadays coaches, let's just say this, organizations, whether it's football, hockey, baseball, it's like you kind of got to choose. These kids can't do both a lot of times because there's a lot of kids that, could be playing high school football that are, still trying to make the Pat Canadians. Maybe they're playing tonight against Estevan. Back in my day, they would let the odd, kid go through play because that's, man, you look back and all of a sudden you blink and you're 30 and then you blink and you're 40. You got gout. You got people telling you to call gambling lines. It's like everything comes at you really fast. Okay, thanks for being here again. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you. Always love being here, Barn.
Curtis, thanks so much for your job. Did you swallow that tack? At the end of it all?
I spat the tack out. All good, man.
Ladies, he's all good.
No worries. Colson, thanks so much. Oh, last text here. Shout out. 5 days left harvest in the Ituna area. That's a nice picture with the northern lights behind it. Ooh. Guaranteed that guy or girl is putting that up somewhere in their house or they got a bar. Yeah. That's got to go on your bar. It's been a lot of fun. Good to be back. back tomorrow with Sharky sitting in the show. Thanks to everyone who watched the stream, sportscage.com. And if you're tuning in, as always, getting that crop off on 620 CKRM.
Hey, neighbor.
Hey, Otto. Where are you off to?
Taking my car to Moose Jaw Truck Shop for a checkup. It's